Hello, everyone. Welcome to Spirit Switchboard. I'm your host, Kerrilynn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. If you are liking what you're listening to, you can head to UPRNtalkradio.com to find out more about all the shows that UPRN has to offer. There is something for everyone. It's not all paranormal and high strangeness. Find out more about our hosts and access all of the archives that we have to offer. Today is our Halloween get-together. So I'm going to just bring my guests out right away, and then we will start saying hello to the folks in the chat. I hope everybody's having a great day so far. Miss Laura Lee. I'm Michelle.
Hi.
My co-host with Beneath the Hollow Moon and host of the Angel Rock. And there's no introductions needed. Everybody knows our dear Michelle. So Michelle DeRoche, host of the Outer Realm, the only Outer Realm. It's so
my
true.
head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you don't actually.
No.
Joe better be careful. He's got all this magical women here with all our magical costumes tonight.
Yeah. Bring it, buckos. Bring it. Yes.
Right? It's kind of cold and windy here. Like, we're just starting to get kids. So Gav, my youngest kiddo, he's like dressed up like a werewolf. So he's outside. We got him this mask that when he opens his mouth, the mouth of the mask opens up and snarls.
Oh.
I know. It's kind of fun.
That's cool. I'm just going to send Jen a link because I know you're listening. I'm going to text it to you, Jen, from Paranormal NL on Tuesday nights. You guys get to meet her. So let me do that while you guys just talk. I'll send her a link to the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I see that,
Sorry,
Jen.
I was muting because Emmy has decided that she's going to join the party because she can hear noise outside. So
I'm just sending lots of calm vibes. I put a calm plug-in that's supposed to help your dogs be nice and calm.
Did you try it?
I've got it. It's plugged in right now, so we'll see how it works.
Okay.
I got two actually. So between the dining room and the living room, hopefully the dogs will be nice and calm during the podcast and tonight when all the kids are going. And it's so funny because fireworks go off in our neighborhood and they don't do anything. They stay asleep with me. Like all three of us, both dogs and me, snoring enough to keep the neighbors through the fireworks. But if somebody walks by, then they go crazy.
That's hilarious.
My dog never cared about fireworks or thunder till the last year. Now she gets really anxious and is pacing, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I've done all kinds of things, but we'll see how it
Mine
is.
are chihuahuas. They bark all the time. It doesn't matter.
Right?
I know.
So Nora is a Chihuahua pug.
Oh, so cute. So cute. I love that.
She is very cute. She has heterochromia too. So she's got that one blue eye, one black eye, or one brown eye, one blue eye.
I love that though.
And
That's awesome. Yeah, that is awesome. I love it.
There we go. Hellos? Hi, Vet Girl.
It's so cool to see everybody. I'm glad you guys are joining us here in the chat room. We're going to have some fun.
Season Dragon. Yay for vacay.
I'm having my spirits, just saying.
I have some.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't add any, but I could.
Certain spirits make Michelle very happy.
Good tea. Hello, Carrie.
I was sorry, guys. I think I got a delay, so please forgive me. But I was going to say, I was telling Kerrilynn off air about that one year we did the UPRN New Year's Eve party. Remember that?
Yes. Oh my God. It went on for hours and hours. Hi, Jen.
Yeah. Hi, Jen.
Hi.
Oh, yeah. The New Year's Eve party that just went on for 8 hours.
And then there was music being played, and I fell asleep on the couch. And at the time, well, still at the same time, my partner at the time was playing music and live and going, Laura, what do you think of that song? And I'm like this on the couch, and he turns the camera around and goes, she liked it. No, it was like 3:00 in the morning. We're still going.
I know. We know how to party here. Let me tell you what, this network knows how to party.
It's so crazy. Jen, do you want to tell the folks, in case there's people that are just meeting you for the first time, about your show, when it is, and how they can find you?
I've got a massive echo on the go.
Nope. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, better? Okay. Oh, who's on next? Oh, right, John. Hi.
So
John
I don't
on.
know what's going on with this. It's a reverb.
Oh.
Go out and come
You
back
sound
in.
fine.
Yeah.
We hear you.
Yeah, just use the link and try again. Yeah.
Just let me go out and come back in.
Okay.
Can you
Okay,
take
well,
me off
let us
the
pull
page
up
and
at a
I'll come back?
time.
Oh, there we
Because
go.
I have the other YouTube open and it's crossing over each other.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Everybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you great.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
Reverb, we're all clear. I hear everybody clear anyway.
I do too.
You're coming in clear.
Jen, you sound
Yes.
clear on our end.
And Mish
Okay.
just said she's all the way in Australia. She says sounds okay in this end.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's because I had the open first as just not joined on the screen. So it was, you could hear both of it at the same time. But now
Okay.
it's fixed. Yay.
Hey, hoo-hoo.
Perfect.
Excellent.
That's because
Excellent.
we're out in the middle of nowhere in the Atlantic Ocean.
That is not a, yeah, that's not a bad thing. That would be right up my alley. I'll tell you that.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Let's go Blue Jays tonight for the World Series. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All Canadians here tonight, right now, so far then. All of us that are here from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woohoo. Go
I
Canada.
know.
And
Yeah,
northern parts, or like remote parts, all of us.
Did y'all get many
Mhm.
trick-or-treaters?
We're still
just
waiting. We have a squirrel
We
that's
have a
wigged out
bear.
because Wayne put up this possessed girl kind of thing. She's standing there bobbing in the air, and you can't see any of the, like, how she's held up. She just did a good job. So the squirrel is this normal tree, and he will not go near the tree, and he's just sitting there staring at it. It's like, poor guy. Freaking mega winds out there, so she's bobbing like crazy.
That's
We
funny.
have a
That was
bear
very
that's
funny.
been here for 3.5 weeks. And I actually even called the police because we were outside and we seen the bear.
A black bear?
It's about 400. Black bear,
Yeah.
about 400 pounds. It's been here
Ooh.
for 3.5 weeks. This lady got off the bus. It was 9:15 at night. Had she got off 20 seconds earlier, she would have met the bear. And I was
Oh,
talking to
God.
my neighbor, and she said the night before, another woman got off the bus, ran into the bear, and was banging on her door, begging, like, please let me in. I'm terrified. And they won't do anything. So I'm thinking
my
that
God.
parents
That's
must have
crazy.
gone. There's nobody out for Halloween right now.
Wow. That's scary. Black bears, you don't mess with them. They're vicious.
I
Mm.
know.
Oh, they're pretty vicious.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
brother had one in his backyard, and they had to call Fish and Wildlife to come and get it because
Yeah.
They
that
won't
time they won't come.
Nope. The police won't come. I called the non-urgent line. There's a black bear reporting line actually out of Sault Ste. Marie, where Kerrilynn's originally from. And they just take the reports. They educate you on black bears. This bear isn't afraid because when we were out, if you make noise, it'll go. And I said, don't yell at it to my partner. And the bear crossed the street and started coming over to us. And
People must be feeding him. Like
Oh,
it
boy.
seems like he's friendly. He's like, hey, you got any steak? Right?
We all
So
had
funny.
one in our yard when we were younger. Like my sister said, she came into the house and she's like, I think that there's a brown dog in the driveway. And it wasn't a brown dog. And then after that,
Hey, Sean.
Hello.
after that, all the babies that were born after that were on a nice rug.
John can talk about Boggs. He's got a canine dog daycare business.
Yeah, I owns a dog daycare. Yeah, so my business is dogs.
Yeah, we bring all the dogs to the play yard.
Aw, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love my job. It's really good. Likes
Yeah.
working with dogs.
Yeah, lots of trick-or-treaters, and we get a little free library out in front of our house. So they're all coming to the house and going to the little free library. Really fun. Last night we were on a show and we were doing, I had everything out, my dowsing rod, spirit box, cat balls, everything, REM pod, everything was going off all at once. It was nuts. It was fun though.
I love when that stuff
Yeah, it
happens,
was.
especially if you have the static sensor and everything else going off at the same time, because then you know something's weird.
Oh, we even had a loaf of bread fly off the kitchen counter. So we were like, yep, okay. We took some off.
Josh, eh?
I don't think they like my non-outfit because we've been around this other house, the Torby History House and Museum, and the prayer garden is there, and it's from the previous convent, which is no longer there. But we've investigated there a couple times around the garden because Michael, he doesn't have a sword anymore. Somebody looted the garden, broke a bunch of statues, stole Michael's sword. So we said, you know what? Let's go get Michael his sword, because dowsing rods were telling us that the 5 sisters buried there, they want Michael to have his sword back. So we gave him a sword back, and then all of a sudden we got Archangel come through Spirit Box. We got all kinds of activity, but then we got evil too.
Oh,
when
dear.
we went over by where the stuff was broke, it was intelligent, really intelligent. It was like, hi, how you doing? And I was doing a separate investigation over in the car while the guys were over in the yard, because we did it separately. So my box was coming through saying it's not human, it's evil. And the 5 sisters were around me because they said, oh, you're a nurse, because they saw my ring and everything. And I was like, yeah. So they were trying to get the 2 Bog team members out of the garden. John, you were there. You had your thermal and stuff there. What did you see on thermal?
We seen like a apparition lying on the grass, and some other stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Like the convent that used to be there was torn down, right? So now it's just the 5 or 12 Stations of the Cross. I'm not Catholic, I'm Anglican. So, and in the garden there with the 5 sisters' graves, and there's a statue to children and stuff. And over by Michael, it talks about the unborn children who had abortions and stuff.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
And there's an inscription there calling out the devil, like rebuking him and everything. There's a statue of Jesus. And that's where the intelligent thing was, over by the statue of Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah. So one
Yeah.
of the sisters, her name is St. Joseph. So we got an EVP at the Torby History House and Museum, Class A. It wasn't even on Spirit Box. It came through on the night viz on a trail cam downstairs when the medium was down there. It says St. Joseph. And I was like, wow. Because across the street in the Pear Garden over at the convent, St. Joseph is there. And she's been with us, like kind of attached somehow. Like she's been following us around. So when I wore this, as soon as I put this thing on my head, the bread flew off the counter. I don't think she likes
No,
this
they're
upside down thing.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
We got lots of fun stories from that area because the Torby History House and Museum is the rectory, the old rectory for the church, which is torn down. And in that parking lot now is where the church used to be. So we got a lot of activity down in the basement, like really guttural, deep growls. A little girl called Rosemary, she keeps following us around. And ever since we've been in the crawl space downstairs, like all 3 members, like we were there with the CBC news crew. We had a reporter and a film crew down there. And ever since then, like there's been weird attachments to the medium, another investigator. Do you want to talk about that, John, with Taylor? Taylor was supposed to join tonight, but he's doing jump scare somewhere.
Yeah.
Let me. I hate to interrupt you guys real quick, though. I know Annette's on her way, but I wanted to pop in real quick and tell you all I love you all. I'm a big fan of all of you. and happy
you.
Halloween. But my wife got off early today for Halloween, and she's actually sitting at the dinner table waiting for me to
Aw.
join her for
Oh,
lunch.
I'm glad you popped in for a
Okay.
minute,
Happy
Sean.
Halloween.
Happy
I
Halloween.
had to pop
Yeah.
in and say happy Halloween, and that I
Aw.
love you all, and thank you all for supporting me, and I support all you guys 100%. And
Yeah.
thank you for everything. But I hope everybody has a wonderful, happy Halloween
Same
and
to you.
a wonderful
And-
weekend. Okay.
And same to you and your
too.
lovely
Yeah,
wife.
same to you.
Enjoy your
Bye.
dinner.
Bye. Enjoy your dinner.
See you guys later. Bye bye.
Happy
Bye.
Halloween.
Yeah, Sean's show is on right before Kerrilynn. So that's Father Sean's Paranormal Ministry. And
Oh, I
yeah,
hope I didn't
he-
disrespect him with this on.
yeah, he's awesome. For those of you guys who don't know him, you might remember him from Eli Roth's Legion of Exorcists, and he's done quite a bit of stuff. He's got books out and such. Good guy. Good guy.
Only complaint I had about that series was I wanted more.
Yeah. Yep.
Agreed.
I like that.
Agreed.
Yes. Hey, everybody.
So, Jen, you're a nurse.
Yes, correct. I've got.
So
had
am
some really-
I.
Oh, okay, awesome. Now I may look like I don't know where I'm looking because my screen is completely froze. I can hear y'all, but everything's froze, and the chat's going wild over here. So I decided to talk over there. But yeah, what kind of nursing do you do?
Well, I hurt my back, but I've done NICU to community nursing, critical care kind of stuff, teaching,
Okay.
all kinds of stuff.
Nice,
How about you?
love it.
Cool.
Oh gosh, I'm a jack of all trades. I was in the United States for about 23 years and mostly in Texas, but traveling up and down the East Coast, doing operation room nursing, intra-op, post-op, pre-op, conscious sedation, and I moved into all kinds of different other areas, but management, nursing, and then I moved back home in 2017. Yeah, so then I started doing emergency room nursing over at the most haunted island in North America, Belle Island.
Oh,
You
yes.
gotta
That's
come
for
visit.
sure.
Yes.
Jack
Dolly, I
Dragon's
didn't know
Center.
Dolly was an ER nurse too. It says,
Yes.
"Wow,
Yes.
Ah.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see
got a
them
bunch of
shortly.
nurses on the network."
Awesome. Yeah, and then that's where I was doing nursing over there.
Oh, someone's knocking at the door for candy. Excuse me for a minute.
Oh, we got to do a candy run. Yeah, Zach
and
Baggins
Patsy
sent his crew
too.
over there to
And Patsy
investigate.
Foister too. She says she's joining us. She wants to do us the three. I think she said the three speeches. Which speech from Macbeth? I'm not a big William Shakespeare, unfortunately. Person.
Love everybody's costumes. They're
It's
amazing.
fun tonight. For sure.
Where did you get yours, Michelle?
Oh God, Halloween. I've always bought the masks. I buy masks all the time because I do different shows and I don't want to wear the same thing. So,
You and me doing the same here. Sorry, highlighting it. Jody's one too. Wow.
but yeah, just do a lot of events. Carrie, they don't tell you too in doing events. You end up with a wardrobe of stuff that you just slap together last minute. So
Right?
that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I have one more event tomorrow, and then the
You can
Halloween
breathe.
season is
Yeah.
done.
I was
Nice.
gonna put white makeup on tonight, but I decided not to. I
It
like all
looks
your
great though, Jen.
Nah, thanks. I like all your candles and stuff in the background too, Kerrilynn.
My Halloween tree.
Is it
The
really?
Halloween tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Oh, that's
Witch's
awesome.
hat.
That's awesome.
Witches' hats and pumpkins. It's
So
fun.
cool.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
love
our
it.
neighbors got a bunch of pumpkins out across the street, all lit up. They're awesome.
I didn't buy any pumpkins like to carve this year. I haven't actually for the last couple of years. We've just put out.
Do you know what we use in Newfoundland? Turnips, because we're very Irish. So in Ireland, they use turnip, and they're so scary. Did you ever carve a turnip?
Yes, actually, my grandpa is Irish.
Ah, they look so much spookier, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work though. Like they're tough to carve, aren't they?
Yeah, you got to get the men to do it.
Turnips. Yeah.
Yeah. Get the chainsaw out.
Get the chainsaw.
Nothing an electric
Yeah,
grill
me
won't take care
too.
of.
So Kat Ward is chiming in from the Paranormal Heart podcast. It's on Tuesday evenings, and she's actually coming to Smiths Falls at the event that I'm doing at the Station Theater. So
Awesome.
yeah, it will be exciting. We get to meet in person for the first time.
Shout out to Kat. She's right after my show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ghosts are creepy.
Yes.
We haven't been on long, but we're really enjoying it. Thank you, Michelle.
Oh, pleasure.
Hello,
Pleasure.
Tim Martins.
I'm glad we've got a great group of people here. You know, it's like UPRN family. It's exactly what it is. There's always somebody there to back you up if you need it. You know, I got a panic call today from Ethereal. I was like, my guest is not answering me.
Oh, no.
I'm here. I'll be ready. Just in case. So he
That's
did
my phone,
eventually
too.
come in. Yeah. So I'm like, all right. So that's okay. Wayne just battens down the hatches and watches for the kidlets. We don't get a lot here, but we do get a few. And then we have students from one of the local colleges coming by to do a food drive. So we're thinking, okay, we've got all that. Yeah, we've got all that stuff ready to go as well. So yeah, it's good. We're in a community with a lot of older folks like us. Or older, like really older.
You're not old.
So
You're only as
yeah,
old as your heart is, girl.
that's what I say. Makes me feel better. Yeah. Oh God.
But the king of Halloween, like if you're the king of Halloween, there's some wisdom. What if we said wisdom instead of old? There's some wisdom.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it's just
Wisdom.
Some
wise. Yeah. We
Everybody
wise
got their
souls.
sage and all that stuff out tonight. I was
No.
I've got
Let them
some-
come.
some nice lavender. Yeah.
Oh, man.
They might get more than they bargained for. I say do it.
Okay, folks, most underrated spooky creature or folklore being. Which one do you think is the most underrated? Which one do you think doesn't get talked about enough that you're interested in? That piques your interest? Underrated. What do you think?
Little people.
Little people? The
Little
fairies?
people.
We got lots of fairies here in
Oh, yeah.
Newfoundland.
Definitely lots of them.
We
No,
got the
not the
fairy
fae.
queen
I'm talking
here.
Not the fae. Not the fae. I'm
Not the
talking
fae?
about the First Nations little people. That's even more popular, I know, up here in Thunder Bay, anyways, with the Ojibwe than say Sasquatch or anything. Not the fae, though. Because I love the fae. That's my big thing too. But
Yeah.
they have a legend about the little people. I don't know the First Nations name for them, but
Yeah, it's a tongue twister. I say puckwudgie just because I like to say it.
I know.
Puckwudgie.
Tongue twister.
It sounds like you got a wedgie, or is it a puck, like
know.
a hockey puck? Or
I know. I had a guest come on one time and he wrote a book on puckwudgies. And I couldn't stop saying it. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, there's something about this freaking ridiculous word, puckwudgie. Who thought that was good? But I don't know. So I have to go with puckwudgie. That's what I'm going
love
with.
it.
Tessa Martins is saying mummy.
Mummy.
else?
that's a good one.
Yeah.
that's a good
Okay,
one
what
for
is
sure.
Wayne saying
Littlands.
Littlands? What are Littlands?
Little people, little ones.
Oh,
Littlands.
I've always. Okay, that's what I thought he meant, but I didn't want to
word. She says his own word.
Heidi's with you. She
I
loves
love
saying
See? Right on. Heidi, see? Girl after my own
What
heart,
about
we
you,
know.
Kerrilynn? And then you guys, what about everybody else?
I always forget the name of it. Actually, my sister came on the show and it looks like an owl, but it's like in South America, but it's huge. And it either gives you good luck or bad luck. I forget what it's called, but it
so it's
sounds
like a
similar to
Mothman, but
Annette.
not? Or
Hi, Annette.
Hi everybody. Happy Halloween.
Look at
Hello.
your cute ears, Annette.
Annette is on with Father Sean, who was just here, by the way.
okay.
I
Yeah.
love Annette.
Father Sean.
I
is
love
in and out.
everybody here, but I've met Annette. I love Annette.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
You guys all look wonderful, by the way.
Thank you.
Just gracias.
Yeah.
So Kerrilynn just asked, what's the most underrated character, like when
Spooky
it comes to
creature.
Halloween or what was
Spooky
that? So you
creature or
worded it-
folklore?
Hmm.
A folklore being or spooky creature that you think is kind of underrated, that doesn't get enough attention.
the first thing I thought of was werewolf.
No, that's a good
That's what my
I
son
don't
just
know.
said
That's a good
yesterday.
one.
And they have this really cool game. It's a werewolf game. Have you heard of it?
A game? No.
Yeah.
What
Okay,
is it?
so you have
We have a comedian in the chat. Not only is he the king of Halloween, he's also the comedian tonight.
nice.
And he makes up cool words too. He makes up cool words.
Yeah, Littleton's is a favorite. So
He
Yes,
is a writer.
Wayne.
He is a wordsmith.
yes, he is. Yes, he is. So
he is
he
a
might
word-
pop on a little bit later. He co-hosts with
John,
me.
I was
you
wondering if you would. Michelle, I've never met him over video. I only ever see him in the chat, so I've never actually met him over video. And I want
Yeah,
to
well-
meet the king of Halloween.
King of Halloween. He is planning on it, but he sort of has to keep an eye on the
Oh,
door right
candy.
now. So yes, but yeah. So hopefully.
He's the candy man tonight.
Okay.
Ooh.
John, did you have an opinion?
Me? There's so many.
Folklore creature.
Let me see. I guess I probably had to go with Dogman.
See, I love Dogman.
I knew
I
you were going to say that.
I can't
Yeah.
put him underrated though. Like he's just like fantastic.
He's
I don't
just
know.
pure evil, though, right? It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like,
Can be.
I don't know. There's some people who have been able to have really great telepathic experiences with them.
with
Out.
Dogman?
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, last
Yeah,
night we had some
they
really...
can connect. Well, I mean, if you get into the whole quantum side of things, a lot of people believe that many of the cryptids are very telepathic and communicate, even though they can infrasound you and mess you up for a while.
Yes, like Yahweh talk in Australia, Michelle.
How do
I'm
you
sorry?
initiate that?
Yahweh talk in Australia. They
Yeah.
use mind speak.
Well, Bigfoot out this way as well. Gerald Denton was on the show. We were talking about Land Between the Lakes because it's just one of the craziest spots for Bigfoot and very vicious dogman attacks, actually. And that's what he was saying. I mean, there are many experiences where Bigfoot can actually speak.
He asked for the link, Michelle.
Okay, Winnie. Okay, Winnie. On the
Annette, say
way.
hi, everyone.
Just
Oh,
yes, just
Annette.
yes, like, okay.
Annette
Yes.
sees on Drake and is asking about the werewolf game. Do you remember?
Oh, does everyone want to hear? It's not too hard. Does everyone want to hear it?
Yes.
It's kind of fun, and I think it's something that could be adapted to play, like on Zoom or something like this. But you have these cards, and
JJ.
like a third of the people get a werewolf card, and the rest are villagers. And then one person is a doctor, and one person is the seer. And then it goes from day to night. And the seer will accuse somebody, or a villager will accuse somebody, and then people vote if they're, going to kill them. But the doctor can pull a card, and if your name's on the card, you don't get killed. And then you find out if they're a villager or if they're a werewolf. And at the end, you find out if the werewolves win or the villagers. The werewolves know who they are. The villagers don't know, but the werewolves know who the other werewolves are.
That sounds pretty cool.
Sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Patsy's saying it sounds like a Sheldon Cooper game.
Or it sounds like an M. Night Shyamalan movie or something.
Jay, are you the good doctor from Star Trek? Is that why you're wearing red?
No, let me give you.
Scotty. I'm sorry.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Or an engineer at least, I'm not
Yes,
just-
engineering.
with this, I'm guaranteed not to die.
Ah.
Sure.
Can I pull out the Star Trek deck? Because Sean's not here yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Uh-oh. There we go.
You get a Star Trek deck for real?
I do, yeah, I do. But I get a hack from Sean. I get hacked from Sean when I pull it out because we're not allowed to
Hi,
say
Wayne.
I can't-
Star Trek.
Hello.
We're not-
I have
Hi,
one
Wayne,
back
we're
here.
not
I
allowed
can't
to say
remember
Star
the name
Trek
of it.
when Sean's around.
The one deck I have, I
Since
don't
I
take
always
care
look
of.
to bug him, right, Jay?
Yeah. The one tarot I have is, and I can't remember the name of it. It's way back there. I can't see without my glasses,
I
but it's
bought
got.
this one after you showed me
That's
this
the one. Yes,
I bought
that's
it.
the one I have. Yep. Isn't that cool? It's got Scooby Doo in
I
it.
know. I love it. I love it. I do have the Star Trek
Awesome.
Somebody must be at the door. Somebody must be at the door.
Hey, Heidi.
Take him
Patsy,
up
Oh,
for
he
now.
left us.
Give him a moment.
Patsy's asking
I'll find
werewolf,
this one.
vampire, dogman, squatch. What beats what?
Say that again.
Patsy is asking werewolf, vampire, dogman, squatch. What
Sasquatch.
beats-
Oh.
Sasquatch be small.
I
Oh,
think
for sure.
too. Bigfoot.
I'm
He's
a
like
vamp
the
girl
Hulk.
myself. Vamps.
Can't the vampire like drain everybody's blood though? Run
That's
away?
what I just
I
said.
think
Vampires.
Yeah, they're faster, right?
And
Only
This is a-
like
this is a
them get you
problem?
in there.
are you back? All right. There we go. Started working with you. Can you hear okay? No,
Okay,
you can't
there's
hear
the
okay.
Star Trek
I don't
deck.
think he knows what he wants to do with it. There's just a lot
That's
of people at
cool.
the door. So,
And then, of course, the supernatural deck we got to have.
of course, that's
Oh,
like
nice.
freaking outstanding. That's
Of
awesome.
course. And of course, even RuPaul's Drag Race we got to have.
Oh, boy.
I think I have a problem.
Yours
Oh,
are nice.
God.
I have a serial killer one.
You
it's a
have the
serial killer
coolest decks. Yes.
and a Penny Dreadful deck, which was
I
great.
love that show.
I loved it too.
I love that
I
show.
have Nightmare Before I have about 80 decks, but we do when we do this
80?
kind of stuff, right?
That was my mother, and then she passed away, and none of
Oh.
us really wanted them. So my daughter ended up with like about 150
With all of them?
decks,
Yeah.
some that have
Oh.
never been opened.
Wow.
And she
hey,
goes, "What do you want
wow.
me to do with them?" I'm like, "What do you want me to do with them?" So
So,
you
Miss
want something
wants
from
to
your
share the
grandmother? Here you go.
video. Kerrilynn, do you want her to send it to me and then we can play it?
Sure.
We
When
don't-
you ready?
Whenever's good.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Right,
have to
okay.
be the second.
All right, there you are.
Go ahead, Mish.
Good. He's just you're watching the window. Is that what you're doing? You just
I am.
okay, right on. Well, I didn't know we were playing musical chairs. So I was just trying to sort it out.
Well, if we're out for
Hi, Dave. I finally got to meet you.
Hello.
Hi. I always see you in the chat. I never got to meet you over video.
Well,
Everyone
There we
meet
are.
the king of Halloween.
I used to be.
King of Halloween. With his queen in the upper right corner.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh
there you
boy.
go.
I know, because your freaking freaking possessed doll just keeps bouncing around and staring at me. It's like right an angle.
The wind keeps blowing her closer to the house.
Yep, sure is. It's just coming closer. Oh,
What
see,
do you
that's
got
cute.
there, Jay? Oh, Jay, you got adorable. What one's that one?
That's Anakin Skywalker, the little like 8-year-old kid.
Aw, it's cute.
Your
Cute.
Kerrilynn gets videos when I get excited because I found out Jay collects Miniverse like I do, and they had Lord of the Rings, and it comes with little molds to make the swords and stuff.
Oh, those are so cute.
Yeah.
Jay and I do the shows on the weekend with Joe. We talk
Mhm.
about this kind of
All
stuff.
Bart is in
Yeah,
the
we
house.
get in trouble with Sean. Sean has like kind of like a sort of a
Here
swear
we
jar. So
go.
if you do anything or say anything Star
At
Trek,
the
we owe him
door.
$5.
Yeah. Bart, you need to get your camera. There he is.
Here I
Hi,
am.
There you
Bart.
are.
Hey.
Long time no
Hey.
see.
Hi, everybody.
Host of Becoming Quantum Conscious.
I was glad to be with everybody
Yeah, thank you. And from Texas this time, too.
from Texas. Hook 'em horns. This is not the sign of the devil. No, this is I love you. This is Hook 'em horns, which is University of Texas, which I am an alumni. That's
And that's Hang
play.
Loose. Hang
That's
Loose.
place. Well, no, that's
Isn't it-
play in American Sign Language.
Isn't that Hang Loose?
Like
That's
you
Hang Loose,
wiggle
isn't
it.
it?
Well, hang loose. Well, that's if you're in Hawaii.
Yeah.
But if you are deaf and you are into American Sign Language, you go like this, and it's play.
Oh.
Ah.
That's where they got it.
And I know
buildings.
this is the letter J, and that's my name. So
Aha. Where did you place it on any particular area? Like I was a bee and I would put it up here when I didn't know better. And everybody would go, well, that's the same side as stupid. You really don't want to do that.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
good.
So what can I say?
That's funny.
That's all right. That's how Benny Hill used to always salute. He would do like that on the Benny Hill show, and he looked just as silly as but he was a very funny dude.
Yeah,
He was.
anyhow.
Art, I haven't seen you in forever. So nice to see you.
Oh, is that to me? Oh, thank
I don't know
you.
if I'm freezing somebody.
All right, Wayne is back. All right. Oh,
Yeah.
Wayne's gone. Everybody's disappearing. We lost Jen. We lost Wayne.
He'll come back.
Oh no, Wayne's back. Okay, there he
Fish,
is.
that song is called it's a weird song. It's called Yakety Sax. I forget the guy who, I think it's Boots Randolph is the guy's name. But if you just type in Yakety Sax in like YouTube or Spotify or whatever, you can find various versions of it. It's just a saxophone song. It's very funny. The band at Benny Hill actually doctored it up with other instruments and made it like 4 minutes long, and then they did it at either at the beginning or the end of the show. I think both sometimes, where he would run around real fast. That's the song you're talking about.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. It's a great song.
Yeah, that one is hilarious.
Well, growing up in Texas, where country and western music is played, and John Wayne is put on the mantelpiece, Yakety Sax was a welcome release, a fun pleasure that the C&W stations would play. You know.
That's cool. One of my favorite jokes of all time is in the Blues Brothers when Jake asked the lady at the bar, it's like, what kind of music do y'all play here? And she goes, oh, we play both kinds, country and western.
Oh, boy.
I'd have been lost right there. Yeah, I'm a headbanger. I don't do well with that country and western.
I know, Mish, we like the same kind of music.
I know. It's like I'm a lover of all music, but I
Me
just
too.
yeah, I love classical music. I love all kinds of music, but
Yeah, I love all music except that music which sucks, and there's a lot of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Actually, who has the soundtrack that's gone really wild is Demon Hunters. Have you seen that? K-pop Demon Hunters? That's gone wild.
I've heard
on
of them,
Netflix.
but what do you call it?
And the soundtrack
Lily's
too.
into it.
The little Funko
Made an
company, they make a whole bunch of the little the K-pop Demon Hunter girls, little figures for them.
I have a T-shirt.
You can get I'm telling you right now, you can get little Funko Pops. They have them. You can get them. Of the
Jay,
Demon
I
Hunter.
love your red shirt, but you must get a lot of bad luck wearing the red shirt, hey?
Not with this.
Oh, okay.
I
Do you have,
need the faux pas.
This
of
do you
saying
have your
the medical
phaser on
team.
that
stun?
and a fully loaded
You
one
got
of
a
these guarantees safety throughout the episode.
Yes,
Got the gear.
yes, golden.
May your batteries stay strong, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, this phaser actually needs a little charge. It's not working too well. It's enough to knock out a Klingon, though.
Where's your sound effect for the? Is it? It's not your phaser. It's the communicator, isn't it? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Oh,
that's
okay.
awesome.
He usually
And
plays
you probably can't see it, but the moray pattern also spins.
It's
the way
moving.
Yeah, I see it. I can see it.
In the original episodes, they weren't electronic. What they did was they took a stopwatch apart, and they put the stopwatch underneath this, and then under here it was a key where you could wind up the stopwatch, and that would make the moray spin. These never worked. So, but if you look at some of the episodes very closely, you'll see this part moving, and it's because it's got a mechanical stopwatch underneath of it.
Oh, now I got to go watch old Star Trek to see this.
Yes,
All right.
well, but you don't watch the digitally enhanced ones. You gotta get the original ones. So
That's what I
don't
said.
watch them on
Old Star Trek, not the new stuff. The old.
Well, that's
old
what I'm saying.
stuff.
If you watch them on Pluto or Paramount, you're going to see all of the ones that have been digitally enhanced, like the George Lucas thing. They went
No,
and redid
I
all
need to
80
watch
episodes.
it.
So if you
I
have them on disc, you can see the originals without any of the new added stuff.
Okay.
I like that it has the original sound in it, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the door in your bedroom, does it go shh, shh when you walk
No,
in?
not yet.
Oh, boy.
That
Where's
was
the
funny.
kitty?
I don't know if you can hear that. It does the two-tone beat, like call me back kind of deal.
Mm.
Yeah, where's the
Love it.
kitty? Usually kitty's there. Mine's not
All
allowed in
the
the
kitties are
bedroom.
outside. They'll bang at the door when they want in.
Mhm. So does anybody have any good ghost encounters lately? Since we are on Halloween and this is supposed to be
I got something creepy left on my
paranormal.
front steps. I got something creepy left there. I don't know what it is or why. I sent it to Kerrilynn actually before we went live.
If it's a paper bag on fire, do not step on it.
It was an unalive little bird, but it was like it had been mummified, left on my front steps.
Yeah.
A gift maybe from somebody's kitty cat.
Yep.
I don't think so. It was not fresh. It was mummified. There was just feathers and a little bit of a wing feather.
Somebody sending you gifts lately?
Maybe it's a job for the demon.
My whole studio is filled with dead things.
Yeah, because when I seen it, I went, "What the heck?" And I looked down, like I could see if because I have a cat, so you know that cats leave presents. This was not from a cat. It's like it's mummified.
Yeah.
Oh no, we look like the
Paranormal
Brady Bunch of
yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
That's funny.
I pick Hollywood
Oh, Lord.
Squares. I pick Hollywood Squares. I'm Paul.
That's a good game.
Kerrilynn, did you have spooky stuff last night?
Huh?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's been
you
a
asked
whole
about
month of
spooky
spooky.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
Kerrilynn
it's been a whole
did
month.
something last night after our show, so I was asking her what kind of crazy stuff did you get? Anything?
Yeah, so we were doing a midnight seance at a place called the Albion here in Guelph, and
Ooh, I love that.
Nice.
I had to wait downstairs for quite a while for the folks to come down to my area, and I was outside, like right near the bathrooms, and the water started running, and nobody was in there. And then once we started the seance, the bathroom light turned off and on. Nobody was in there, so we had definitely some interaction. And I was at the Coach and Lantern and Ancaster for
That's another good one.
It's a very good one. I
Yeah.
love doing the paranormal dining with the deads there because we get those spirits. They will shut the hall light going into the dining room where I'm doing my event off and on in response to the questions that we're asking during the event. So it's pretty exciting. Yeah.
Fun.
Not spooky stuff, it's exciting stuff.
Yeah.
It's still spooky.
I
No,
think
it's not spooky at all.
Every
I love it.
EVP
No,
I ever
but the
hear,
fact
if it's
that
a
you're
real
getting-
one, the back of my neck will stand up. I mean, all the hairs will go. I mean, you could run a,
I think it's
it'd be
cool
like
though.
Truth
Because
bumps.
it's
Those are truth
intelligent.
bumps, Jay.
Yes. Yeah, and I think
That
it's
just
kind
means
of
it's
cool,
real.
Kerrilynn.
Well, you can always
Because
put some
it-
coconut oil on the back of your neck. That's supposed to help them not go into your chakra. You know?
Oh, I don't
I
mind
think
it.
it's cool, Kerrilynn.
That's how I can tell if it's real or not. like on that Moneymaker show, whenever they collect their, an electronic, they're using digital recorders. Whenever they pick up electronic Bigfoot yell, I know if it's a regular creature or if it's Bigfoot right away. If the back of my neck doesn't stand up, it's like something normal, like another animal I can identify.
Truth
Yeah,
bumps.
they say
That's
you
what you
got
call it.
intro
Truth
sounds.
bumps.
Juice box?
Truth bumps.
Truth bumps.
Truth bumps.
So you can bring a
Big
juice
for-
box along.
for-
I
you
can
know,
snap
big-
some of it just
You
in
know why?
case.
Because I know my husband's blood sugar is low.
It could be a
No,
bullshit
it's not low.
bullshitometer too. I don't know.
But I had
Or
a
do you have a story?
well, I don't know if you're asking me.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of this very famous place in Austin called the Confederate Widows Apartments or housing. Of course, all the Confederate widows eventually died, and then the Austin State Hospital, that would be for the mentally ill and insane, all moved in, and that's when it really got spooky. And then later on, I was working at this Texas School for the Blind at the Deaf-Blind Annex. This is where we would house our kids, these deaf-blind kids. And there's all of these stories about, I heard from my peers, lockers opening and shutting like 30 or 40 at a time, and
Oh, crazy.
Oh, wow.
crazy stuff like
Major
that.
major psychokinesis stuff going
Major
on there.
psychokinesis. And then
Yeah.
another 10 years, 20 years later, I got my little ghost busting badge, and they call me up and go, Bart, why don't you come down here? Because now we are housing services for the elderly, and we're afraid these people are going to get heart attacks. And so I go in there, and there's all of these portals from all the people that are mentally insane would kind of go into these realities, open this up probably unconsciously, and they're just streaming in. This is too overwhelming for me. I've never, some places I think aren't just meant to be clear. It wasn't a simple one. It was huge. But when you talk about hairs on your back and stuff, mine was different. When I would go into these super intense places, it would always smell like laundry soap.
Oh.
I don't know if anybody's ever had that experience. Maybe it's just me, but it's like somebody just got white powdered laundry soap.
Well,
and
some
just
people get different
sprinkled it all
senses,
over the
right?
floors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still spooky, and there's still stuff happening there.
That's crazy. I mean, sometimes when you have people who are, in that, I would say that frame of mind, if they're as you say, insane, obviously there's something going on. That old term, back in the the olden days, Victorian times, early 1900s, the hospitals and home for the insane. But I look at families I've worked with, who've had family members with autism, for example, or Down syndrome, and God, they're so gifted. They're so gifted, but they're like little magnets, they just have spirits and more malevolent things attracted to them as well, but they could see things.
We have a medium on our team, Michelle, who's gifted. He fell down, he hurt the back of his head, but he also has some other autistic type things, but he very gifted, and like you said, attachments and things, they just gravitate towards them.
They do.
They're communicating on a different level.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So they're already at a different frequency when they come in.
Yes. It's interesting because I have a family member who has autism, and when she was really young, she would come in with her mother, and they would come and visit, and I was always like eyeball deep into working with families, and I only worked with malevolent situations at that point. I don't like to call cases or clients. I just find it personally insensitive, but she would come in and she sat down and she'd look at her mother and she'd say, "Mommy," she goes, "What's growling?" Sorry, that's with me. No problem. I'll take care of it. But she just so calmly just sat there and just, "What's growling?" So she could hear it perfectly. She could just connect to it and no real fear of it, So I definitely think they're at a different frequency. And I think we have a lot of upcoming children who are, very, very gifted, probably on a scale that we may not have seen or very seldomly seen. It might be the best way to put it.
Are you referring to like starseed children that people talk about?
No, people with autism.
No.
And they're kind of cousins to the starseed children because they function from a place at the top, at the back of their head. They say that there's an open zone that we're not able to access, but they are, and therefore they are meeting like the people with autism at this place they call the Hill. We have no idea what that is, but they're all over the world. They're all meeting and buddying up and becoming friends, even though they've never
telepathically or
telepathically,
travel.
Telepathically, but they're traveling to that place. So they're opening up things that we have yet to explore, but I think we're going that way.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
My oldest son, he's 32 now, but in the spectrum. And when he didn't, he was 3.5, I think, by the time he was talking. But when he started talking, it was like how your kidneys function and, why the Titanic sunk. And he hadn't talked prior. And then it was like crazy, wild things. And we were on the East Coast. We were living on the East Coast at the time, in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And we were driving into Fredericton, and he was in the back with my second son. They're only 15 months apart. And he's like, you don't need to be sad if I die, because I'm going back to be with God, which we never talked about God, never went to church at home. And he said, Ryan and I were friends in heaven, and we chose you to be our mom, and we have lessons that we're meant to teach you. And I'm like, all right. Yeah. Here we go. It was a crazy ride ever since. But yeah, he was 32. So they come in knowing, and I think for them, they remember faster than the rest of us catch up to.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. There's just up and coming. I think you're just going to hear more and more of that, as we move along. And I think when for those who do paranormal investigations, don't be surprised if you go into homes and you've got these gifted little beings, or these I say little, up and coming, but a lot of psychokinesis, a lot of projection of energy, because they're just getting a handle on it, expressing themselves.
I had a gentleman on who translated a book from Polish to English, and it was about what do you call it when things move, a poltergeist, and it was quite intriguing. I don't have the title of the book right now.
I think I know who you're talking about. I think I've caught it. Somebody sent me an email.
Stern, I want to say, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Joel Stern. But it was very intriguing that this little girl could bend spoons. She could move objects, and it was all documented by scientists. It wasn't just hearsay people. The actual government got involved and hired scientists to check this out, and they couldn't disprove any of it.
Have you not tried bending spoons? I did it. So when I first kind of came out of the witchy woo closet, right? I had the very first podcast that I ever had was 18 years ago for parenting kids that were intuitive. Like, all of my kids are super, very similar to my sister and I, right? So I used to run summer camps for kids, and the kids would all get together. It was like Stranger Things 18 years ago for these kids. They would all get together, but we used to do spoon bending with them all the time, and it was fun. You just have a sense of play and turn the music on and let them hold their spoon. And when they're choosing their spoon, they would say their spoon was choosing them. So we'd open up, put the spoons down, they would choose their spoon, we'd play music, and then we'd stop the music, and they would turn their heads and just think about the spoon and turn back around, and they would all be twisted.
Crazy.
Really? It's super fun. You should have a spoon bending party. Highly recommend.
Wow.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Creepy.
It's not creepy. Who said it's creepy?
I love it. I think it's awesome. People don't realize how powerful we are as human beings. We're these incredible beings of light and energy, having a human experience. We come here, get dumbed up, and I think we just lean so much into the physical that we fail to remember. Some do, obviously, remember, what their abilities are and what you can do with them. And some just tend to forget, and you go through, so it's like mumbling through life, just trying to find your place. But all you've got to do is just tap back in. Just remember, it's like riding a bicycle. It's there. You came here with it.
I think people are scared of the accountability part of it. Like when you recognize that you're in constant co-creation, and every moment there's accountability attached to it, and that's hard for some people to accept.
Oh, it is. Because if you're not careful, I still remember like my best friend coming to me, and I'm like 18 years old, so completely, abilities that are just doing their own thing, and I'm well aware of them, but I didn't have a lot of tact back then. So she says to me, I want to know if my boyfriend's cheating on me. Well, you're my best girl. Yeah, he is. That didn't go well because they want to hear it, but they don't want to hear it. And the sad thing is she tried to take her own life at that time. So it was, it was really a lesson learned. And I knew way back then that I didn't want to do readings. I didn't have interest in it because, like you say, Kerrilynn, I did not want that responsibility. Some people just lean so hard on the readings, they don't realize, like, as soon as you come to that fork in the road and make that decision, things slightly change, like the substantial things may not, but the road there may change for you. And I'm good with not. No.
And it's still like, I used to do hair for a living, right? So that was my full-time job as a hairstylist. And so anytime you get invited somewhere, it's like, bring your scissors because you're going to do a haircut. Same as if you play an instrument, bring your instrument with you so that you can play with folks. But with this, you still get people like, got anything for me? Nope. Just eat my potato salad.
With me? Is there anybody with me?
I found the name of that book. It's called The Elusive Force, a remarkable case of poltergeist activity and psychokinetic power.
Yeah.
Joel
We are powerful beings, Poltergeist activity is a
gift.
Projection of energy at the end of the day. So it's
Jay's energy is changing outfits. What you got on now?
Where's the red?
Jay, you're like a mood ring.
I've got all department head shirts. So
I see. Okay.
It's a smart shirt. When I touch a button.
Smart shirt.
And Wayne, did you chime in about that question about Bigfoot, Dogman, and what was the other one?
Oh, the most what is it? The most underrated.
Oh, that was the one I asked.
Oh, okay. So what was the other one?
There was two separate ones. So the most underrated folklore, or what was it?
No, it's who could squish who?
Yes.
I believe I said I was the most underrated.
Yes, you did. You said me.
Yeah, I think that's what I said. I think like I don't like
not in this house.
I was gifted as a tree stump, but I do have a lot of fun with people. I like to I mess with people when they least expect it. Years and years ago, I would dress pretty much gothic all the time. Long black hair and velvet coats and things like that. And I was at the grocery store, and it's just going through the checkout, and the gal's running the stuff through, and the guy behind me is looking at the tabloid, just reading the cover, and it says, "Is there life after death?" And he kind of looks at me. He's like, "God, I'd really like to know that." And I just said to him, I guess we have to wait till we die to find that out. You can't find that out beforehand. And he goes, "Yeah, but I don't want to wait that long, right?" So I grabbed my bags. I thanked the lady for bagging them. I look at him. I'm like, "What do you mean you can't wait 2 weeks?" And I walked away, like looking like death, right? And I walk out the door, and this guy's like,
"That's so bad."
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I do. That's the games I play.
Naughty.
Lots of fun.
Mr. Halloween, King of Halloween. That's bad.
No, it's not. It's Halloween's every day. If you're foolish enough to walk into the spider's web, I'm happy to entertain you. I mean, years and years ago, I used to live with a guy that was just terrified of clowns.
Oh.
And I would say,
have you seen Killer Clowns from Space?
He's not scared of like the scary clowns. He's scared of like the happy ones because he's like, I just don't know what they're thinking.
That's true.
And so like I would tell him, I said, like I'll scare you, but I won't do it if it's going to really upset you. He goes, no. He goes, when you first do it, he goes, my heart stops. But he said, it's only for 2 seconds. And I'd never laughed so hard in my life. So one day I come home from work, it's late, and he was living with me at the time, and the back door to the house is wide open. Like everything, like wide open, lights are on. I'm just like, what's wrong with you, man? So I come in the house and he's gone to bed.
Clarify, because it's like 2 a.m. It's not like you're anal about the doors, but it's 2 a.m.
No, it's late. It's late, right? So, I come in and, I can hear his TV on upstairs, so I go get the clown suit on and then the nose and the rainbow wig and everything, right? And I come creeping through the house And we had this big grand staircase that went up to the second floor. So I stand at the bottom of the staircase and look up towards the tower, and I just go, that's all I did. Just a little laugh. And you hear the TV go down. And the sound goes down, right? And there's nothing. There's no sounds at all, right? So then the TV goes back up, and I wait a few more minutes. I'm like, when the TV goes down. And you hear the bed creak, and you hear the creaking of the floor walking across, and his door opens up, and you hear like, hello? There's nothing, right? Not an answer, right? So the door closes. I'm like, door whips open really quick. Like, hello? Hello? And he comes over to the rail, and he looks over the banister rail down. Well, I'm looking straight up with my mouth open and the big red nose, and I got a little honker horn. He looks over the side and like, he's like, oh! He falls backwards into the hallway. Right? I come racing up the stairs, and he's crab walking backwards into his bedroom on the floor. I'm like, you left the back door wide open. Anybody could have come in. So I became anybody.
Funny.
You got him good.
Hi, Rhonda
Oh, yeah.
Harris. Amelia, hello. Happy Halloween. Patsy asked a question. Halloween squares. Have any of you squares had run-ins with cryptids? Tell.
Ooh, cryptids.
John, how about you first?
No, I never had a run-in with them.
Not
Just
yet.
moose. Just lots of moose and stuff in the backyard.
Yeah, there's lots of that.
Had enough of those encounters myself. Being a northern girl. Kerrilynn
Art?
could probably relate.
What about
Well, I
you?
don't know what a cryptid is, so I can't answer the question.
Bigfoot,
Bigfoot.
Loch Ness Monster,
Yeah.
Dogman.
My ex-wife.
Indirectly.
Your ex-wife.
I went to Southeast Texas, near Kuntz, Texas, and this would be in the Big Thicket. And there's this one road that is 8 miles straight, perfectly flat, and they call it Bragg Road. And there's been a high incidence of white lights, or these little orbs pop up, and Bigfoots come out right behind the orbs. This is a very famous place.
Yeah.
In East Texas. In fact, most people who live in East Texas have had a Bigfoot encounter. It's a hotbed. I was out there with a bunch of people that were way too noisy, so I decided to take a walk in the complete dark on this flat road. I just felt a lot of things go beside me, which one of them was kind of big. So that's the closest thing that I got, and I did not dare want to turn on my flashlight.
Any chupacabras in your area down there?
Well, it's not in my area. I live in Austin, Texas.
You're in
But-
Austin. Yeah.
But
I
if
used
you
to live
live,
in the valley, Rio Grande Valley.
okay, yeah, but they say if you live in East Texas in the Big Thicket area, most likely you have seen an encounter.
Oh, for sure.
With
Yeah,
one.
I'm 100% sure. I've seen something odd. It wasn't a coyote. It wasn't a wolf. It looked to me more like a coy wolf. That wasn't really a cryptid, but I mean, they do say there are, the chupacabra thing, but no, I haven't had many other wildlife run-ins besides ocelot in the wild, gators.
Cryptid Jay, how about you?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yeah, I saw a Bigfoot in Ohio when I was 10, and like real close. I saw his face. Like you could see like this lines in the skin and everything.
Did he smell?
Oh, horribly. Yeah, I smelled him before I knew him. He was there. We were on the second level of my cousin's house. Second level of the house, and his face is in the window.
On the second level?
And I'll explain how that happened later. But I was 12 feet max away from the window on the other side of the room, and I mean I smelled him, and I looked in the window, and you could see like it was a human. It was a dude. It was like a regular, like you would see like a Rasta dude with like fit matted hair. It's really the only way to describe it. And every color rainbow of hair in the hair was like, I mean, there was white, and because he was an older version. I mean, if I had to put an age on it, it would have been at least 40 or 50-year-old entity.
Interesting.
and smelled horribly. I mean, it was like a cross between like skunk and like backed up, porta john.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
really
have
horrible.
I was gonna ask you, Laura Lee, about the wolves.
That's what I was gonna tell.
Yeah, that's a good story.
Okay, so I don't know if I could call this a cryptid, and I told it on our shows on the Angel Rock. So in my previous home, it was a very severe haunting. I did not know the lovely Michelle DeRoche at the time, but she consulted an episode on Paranormal Survivor. It was called Demonic Hauntings. So in the old house, I was talking to a friend that lived in California. It was on a weekend. It was a Saturday night. And so it was probably about 2 a.m. And I'm a night owl. And as girls will talk on video, my friend said to me, "Oh my God, I love the color of your hair." It wasn't purple then. It was a different color. And she said, what dye did you use? I said, "Well, hang on, I'll go outside and go check the garbage can." So I go outside, and I am absolutely stunned. Probably about 12 feet away from me across the street, hand to God, there is this giant wolf. It looks like it has to be the size of a city bus almost. Hi, Dolly. And it was shimmering. It was like glowing white, and it was walking really, really slowly, and it turned its head to look at me, and it had these flame ice aqua blue eyes. And I'm looking at this like freaking out, and I'm saying to my friend, like, "Can you see this? Can you see this?" And she's screaming at me, "Get back in the house, get back in the house." And I said, "How can you not see this?" I said, just I want to watch this. So it's walking. I never felt any fear, walking super slow. And there was like a Y. We were kind of in a bay where our street was, and there was a Y street intersecting. It crossed. As it went by the telephone pole, it disappeared. And she's still screaming at me, "Get back in the house, get back in the house." And I'm going, "Why? Like, how can you not see this?" I go back in the house. And I go, "Okay, what was the big deal?" She goes, "You didn't hear all that growling and snarling." I go, "No, I didn't even feel afraid." But the really weird thing was my oldest son was still awake. And he had to be about probably 16 or 17 at the time. He didn't know what was going on. And he goes, "Mom, what's going on out there?" He's going, "Didn't you? There was like all this growling and snarling." I never heard it. I didn't feel threatened, but it was the most incredible thing I have ever seen. I've never seen something that big. It was like it was shimmering. You couldn't see through it. So I don't know if it was a cryptid or crazy.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah.
I'll be right back, folks. I got to go for a minute.
Okay.
I'll be back.
He's on another candy run.
Annette,
I know. It's either that or the possessed doll's doing its own thing out there.
There
we go.
Annette, do you have a story?
I don't, but I have somebody very close to me that saw werewolves and little people here in Oklahoma.
Oh.
And she told this story to me, and she looked so visibly afraid just to talk about it that it was really impressive. There's a part of Oklahoma kind of close by Arkansas that they get a lot of werewolf stories out of there, and the little people. And I wanted to tell Bart, I used to live in Austin.
Oh, wow.
I lived by North Cross Mall. I don't know if that's still there, but in the early 90s, Anderson Lane and Burnett Road.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I lived in that hood around that time.
Nice.
Yeah. I was the guy who roller skated down the streets.
Hello.
Look how nice you guys look at those hats. You guys are hat people. Look at that.
Yeah.
I'm actually for Halloween, but I'm a real cowgirl, so I just thought I would be myself for Halloween. How's that?
There you go.
You look fabulous.
Thank you.
This be a good rodeo.
So Preston and Dolly, Patsy was asking, have any of you, they've been calling us Hollywood Squares tonight, or Halloween Squares, so Halloween Squares. Have any of you squares had run-ins with cryptids? And they're asking to tell, so.
Ooh, yes.
Do you have a story that you want to share?
Sure. You know, I grew up in the Everglades, and we lived on a Brahma ranch. That's how come I'm a cowgirl, okay? And on my weekends, I would go out into the glades with my canoe and go to big hammocks in between all the water. Okay, and there were mounded hammocks, and in the late 1800s, 1700s, the Seminole Indians used to live on them before they became a nation, and had their own place to live out there. And there are a lot of artifacts on those mounds, and so I used to go digging and sifting for artifacts. My college teacher got me onto it, so I packed up for the weekend, got my canoe, went out there. I had a tent with me, and I have everything I need to live on the mountain for 2 or 3 days at a time. And I brought my sifter and all my equipment with me. And I had spent about a day and a half out there, 2 days, and the weather was going to turn. I could see it coming bad. So I decided to pack up, and I had packed my gear up. It was in a pile. I had left my canoe on the mound opposite me. They're all close together, hammock. And so I was going to have to wade into the swamp amongst the sawgrass to go get it. And I was trying to decide if I was just not going to wear anything but a bathing suit to do it and get ripped up in the sawgrass, or if I was going to wear my jeans in and then just really be wet and miserable till I got home. As I was pondering this, I felt something over my right shoulder. And I thought, And I start to look to my right, and there it was, almost 7 feet of it. Was the biggest lizard guy I have ever seen in my entire life.
Wow. I was not prepared for that.
It was
a lizard guy.
Yeah, and he was looking dead at me, and I can read minds, and all I read on him was, I'm looking for food. I did not hesitate. I tore off. I went straight into the water, made it to my canoe, got in my canoe after I pushed it 50 feet, wildly swimming with it, rolled into it, and got the heck out of Dodge. I didn't go back for a month. How old were you? I was 17 and a half.
Oh, wow. And speaking of tall lizard men, Joe is watching us from his lovely apartment in Louisiana.
Hi. Hey, Joe.
And Joe should be on this soundboard with us.
Yeah, you don't have any room. We're already got 10.
That's right. Naughty, Joe.
My question is, did you leave him a hamburger or something like that?
No, nothing. And when I went back, everything, he had gone through all my stuff. I mean, it was scattered, but it could have been anything that done that, animals other than him. And I knew it was a male, by the way. I knew it was a male. He looked male to me. I was perplexed because I had never seen anything like that in my life before then, ever. And I told my ET contact, what, and he said, that is a, what you would refer to as a reptilian. They're from this planet. They're very old here. They were here before we were. They're sentient. And if he wanted to kill me and eat me, he would have. I would never run away from him. So I was relieved of that. But I never wanted to see another one, actually, ever. It unnerved me. I've never moved that fast in my life, ever. Huh?
Have you?
No, I've never seen another one. No, when I say no, it's no. No until, you know what? Yep, no. They probably are great and nice, and I've heard nice things about them. But no, no.
Yeah, they've got the skunk ape down there too, right, Dolly, in the Everglades?
Yes, if you want to hear the other one that I have, I used to, our family owned a zoo in Dade City, Florida. Okay. And, it's way off the coast, and, cattle ranches all around us. And my cousin used to have a cattle ranch, and they turned it into a zoo when we were young. And so when I was done nursing and doing everything and I needed something to do with myself, I got registered to be a zookeeper.
Another nurse?
Yeah, I was a nurse. Yeah.
How many is that now? 5 we got here?
Yeah, how about that? And so I went to this, I found this group, CE5 group, okay? And so I went. It's a big cattle farm himself. He had cattle too. And he had a huge barn that he converted. And everybody on the CE5, and we're talking 60 people, were allowed to sleep there overnight. He had cots and everything, so we didn't have to drive out in the middle of nowhere, okay? So we were out there, and he starts telling me, it was a potluck. We were all supposed to bring food to this thing. So I did. And I was in the kitchen before we actually went out to the CE5, and I was helping do the dishes. And he said, "You know what I got? I got something in my freezer I'd love for you to see." And I'm thinking, side of beef, whatever. Okay. And he said, I have a skunk ape. And I'm thinking, huh? He says, "I have a skunk ape in my freezer." And I said, "Well, how did you come by that?" And he said, "Somebody just north of where we were in Dade City is more close to the East Coast, is a big artists psychic commune up there." Okay. And he said it was there. And we were called and told it was harassing them. And two of my fellow people went up there and they actually shot it because it attacked them. And I said, "You what?" And he said, "We shot it." And I couldn't believe my ears. And I said, "And you have it in your freezer?" And he said, "Yes, I do." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Because it's not with them." And I said, "Okay. And are y'all going to tell the world about it? Anything like that?" He said, "Well, it's up to them to decide." And I said, "How long has it been in your freezer?" And he said, "For about a month." I'm thinking, sure. Okay. So he opens the freezer. Now, you have to understand that things that are frozen for a month without being embalmed or anything like that get weird. You know how meat is. And so he opens it up, and the first thing I see is fur and a hand up. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this looks freezer. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. We have 3 freezers here. Okay. Most people who own cattle and stuff like that have multiple freezers. So it's not hard to assume that he had an open freezer. Okay. Or he made an open freezer. And I'm looking at the fur of it and I'm thinking, this is not, I think I know what this is. And I said, have you tried to identify the fur? He said, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, my family owns a zoo. I'm pretty well versed in animals." He said, "Yeah, that's why I'm showing it to you." And I said, "Well, this looks more like an orangutan to me because it's red."
Oh.
And he said, "Oh, I didn't think of that." And I said, "I think somebody."
Skunk apes are red though.
Yeah. So he said, "Well, let's uncover it." And we pulled all the plastic off it, and it was all, balled up. And I couldn't really get a look at it. It was so frozen, I couldn't get the head to turn, without breaking things. And I thought, but what I saw of it was very much orangutan. And I said, we got zoos all over Florida. It could have come from any one of them, Yeah. And I said, you need to call him and tell him to come get this thing and quit playing with you like that. He said, "Okay." He says, "But they swear it was a skunk ape." And I said, "Well, I believe that there are skunk apes. I've heard them myself, but I don't think this one is one, So about 6 months after that, I hear the story of him. The backstory is he called them and they came and got it. And they told him, "Yeah, it was a joke. We were pranking you, blah, blah, blah." That friendship instantly ended, by the way, between them. And I get a call from him. And he says, we've got one on the property. And I said, "How do you know?" And he starts talking about it to me. And I said, "Well," I said, "the best way to figure out if you've got a skunk ape out there is to leave it something, a gift, and stay the hell away from it." And he said, "What kind of gift?" And I said, "Well, I've heard they like tobacco leaves. I've heard they like toys. I've heard they like apples, they like, good water, things like that. But, no, I said, don't put a bloody banana out there. That might insult it. I've heard that too." He said, "Okay." And I said, "Fruit, any kind of like fruit from Florida, because it's a skunk ape here. It would eat oranges probably or whatever. And, fruit, big peaches or prunes or whatever, plums." And so he did. And he called me a couple of days later and he says, "Well, it got all eaten and everything. And we've got footprints all over the place." And I said, "Now, there you go. Now you cast those footprints. Don't touch it. Bring in a forensic person and study it." And I haven't heard back from him ever since. And I've always wondered, what did they do? Where'd that information go? And it just seems like in the world of Bigfoot, everybody gets this close and then the lid shuts, And I always wondered about how that works, among everybody. So
You need to watch my friend banter with Richie B. It's so fun watching him because he definitely has Bigfoot on his property, and when he investigates, he just goes live. So we're all watching with him and investigating with him, all boots on the ground. And it's amazing the stuff that he has encountered and the stuff that he has. So it's banter with Richie B. It's pretty, and Wojo. It's pretty interesting stuff. Preston, do you have a story, a cryptid story to share?
I do. I've got a pretty interesting story that happened to me. I met this lady who called me up. I knew her pretty well. She'd had UFO experiences, and she complained that Bigfoot was hanging around her house, stinking up the place, screaming bloody murder at night. She said it sounded like a woman being murdered in the wash. It was driving the animals crazy. She said one night it looked into her window. She got a real good look at it. Went around the house, looked into her son's window, went to the other window and looked into the roommate's window. I talked to all three of them. They agreed that this did happen. It broke a branch in the tree. I looked at that. She said it set a boulder on top of their house.
Wow.
2 or 3 men to push this boulder off.
Wow.
They're all about rock throwing and stuff like this. So she said, come up here. I think it's trying to kidnap me. They don't kidnap people, do they?
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. You ask Thomas Seawood. Thomas Seawood would tell you they do.
Yeah, well, I told her no, they don't. And then I looked it up and I called her back. I'm like, well, actually.
In retrospect.
That has happened.
We had to use one of Jay's things to beam it off the roof.
I mean, very handy.
So I went up to her house and she's showing me all of this. She's like, I know where it lives. I'm like, you do? She was in telepathic contact with it. She said it was really interested in her because she could hear it and it could hear her. And Bigfoot are telepathic. So she says it's about 2 miles away down in this canyon. She lived in Acton. This is in Southern California on the north side of the Los Angeles National Forest, which, if you know this place, it's actually quite remote. It's a huge forest, I think it's, 250 million acres, something crazy like that. It's huge. And it has a big, long Bigfoot history. So I looked all this up. I'm doing my research. So we decided we're going to go out and go Bigfoot hunting. And she's going to show me where it lives. We drove away from her house, which is really just off the freeway, about 4 miles, the 14 freeway, the 5 freeway, and down this dirt little road. And we were about 2 miles down this dirt road, and we were in a place that was very remote. There was not a sign of civilization except for this road. We went there around dusk and parked. So I walk out in front of the car because I'm surveying the environment. I'm looking at where we are. And she gets out of the car and she's going into the back seat to pull out the equipment. We had sound equipment. We were hoping to record it. And no sooner did we, I was standing in front of the car trying to orient myself when I heard this darn thing roar. And I can tell you I've heard animals roar before. I grew up next to a cougar. We had a neighbor who had a cougar, so I know what cougars sound like. Bears and lions and all of this. It wasn't that. It was so loud. I actually looked up thinking it might be a jet flying over me, which of course it wasn't. So it roared for a full 20 seconds.
Preston, did you feel the infrasound? Like go through you, like feel it?
I 100% did. It's hard to describe, but it kind of rumbles in your chest. You can feel
Did you feel zapped after?
Energy?
Like a psychic hangover?
Yeah.
Not really. No, I was thrilled. I'm like, whoa, okay, wow. Because it kept roaring. Now, the lady I was with, she lost her mind. She became really frightened. I can't blame her. She says the thing was coming after her. And it roared again. It roared a second time. And this time I could pinpoint it, kind of triangulate it, right? And it was right in this ravine that we were next to, which couldn't have been more than 100 yards, 300 feet or so. It had very steep walls. I'm not kidding, 45-degree angle. Thick with brush. So now I know where it is. And what do? I run towards it.
Yeah. As you should.
Maybe crazy, but
No.
It is what it is. Well, when she saw me doing this, she absolutely became hysterical. Screamed out, "What are you doing? Get back in the car. We're leaving now." And so I had not gone more than 100 feet, and she was, on the verge of absolutely losing her mind. So I turned around and went back into the car. She says it roared a third time after we talked about it. I was pretty sure it was just twice. I don't know, maybe she's right. But yeah, we drove off pretty quickly. She was scared as I've ever seen anybody.
Wow.
So, yeah, I didn't see anything. I didn't smell it. But, I know what I heard. And the way it vibrates in your chest, there's high tones, there's low tones, it's really hard to describe to people.
Yeah.
It's a vocalization that no normal human vocal cord can replicate. And the few recorded actual that we can identify them as Bigfoot or like non-identified primate vocalizations, our vocal cords can't do it. The Bigfoot thing has a vocalization, we can't come near it.
Yeah, Richie has a recording that sounds just like the Sierra sounds. It sounds exactly the same. The recording that he got off of his property. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're out there. I think it's far more common than most people realize.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, I got a catch short
also
now.
asked
So
about, do they have blonde
have to
hair?
go, Wayne. Have a
I'm
good
going
night,
to say
Wayne.
goodnight now, but it's been
Night,
awesome hanging with you
Wayne.
guys. But
Night,
happy
Wayne.
Halloween.
Hanging
We'll talk to you
out.
soon.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye, Wayne. Happy Halloween. It's nice to meet everybody. We're going to
Nice
peace
to
out
meet-
too over here in Newfoundland.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
Finally,
Bye.
have a good night. Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Nice to meet you too. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
So I wanted to ask. I wanted to ask.
We still
I
have
wanted to ask-
Mish's video, by the way. It's queued
And
up.
here's a
if
real
you guys-
cryptid right here.
Oh,
That's the 165-pound dog that likes your lap.
Hmm.
Did you want to play Mish's video that she sent?
I'm not okay. So what she said, let me cue it up here. She said, "Please forgive me if I don't say this correctly. I think it's a bunyip or something." She
Bunyip,
said. She said it's a funny video.
Ah.
What she wrote was, sorry. This is what she said. This is our bunyip, a real treat for the kids. And she said, I hope it works. It's right next to the river. It cracks me up. Bunyip, I was told, was created to scare the children from swimming in the river due to the sharks coming up the stream. So this is her video. So give me 1 sec while I pull it up.
Is this
just
when I
a
asked about the
reel,
most underrated folklore or most underrated creature?
Yeah, she sent it a while ago. So let me get the audio on here so that it's going to play. I'm sorry, I can't make it any bigger. I tried to, but it's a reel. So. I can see it now. That's pretty cool. That was a lot of work, I'd say, to make that. I guess I get another close up again.
Okay, so Mish is saying this is next to River Murray.
You want me to pause it for a second? What'd she say? What was that, Kerrilynn?
She says this is next to the River Murray, and she says kids shite themselves.
No, well.
I could see why. That's incredible. That's a lot of electronics and water, and I could definitely see why.
hydraulics, probably. Electronics would break down in water.
It's sad that we find it funny when kids run screaming and crying. I find that
Well,
sad.
thanks for sending that, Mish. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Definitely.
That's pretty cool. I don't know. You know what worked for me was Jaws. I'm old enough when the movie Jaws came out for years. I'd even be in a pool, and I have such a vivid imagination. I'd be so worried about sharks. I love to watch
Hands
sharks,
down,
but I
the
don't
best
want
horror movie on the planet. It really is a horror movie. The bad guy who kills everybody, you don't see him until the very end, and the only reason why you don't see the bad guy is because the big They had a 28-foot styrofoam shark that they would run on tracks underneath in the ocean, and it didn't never worked. So there's stories of what's his Richard Dreyfuss. They had like radios, and you'd hear the shark is not working. The shark is not working. And one day he said they were. And then one day he said that they were actually filming, and then someone came over and said the shark is working. So they went and they filmed the shark parts, and those are the scariest parts of the movie. But it's only like 5 minutes of the entire movie. In this 92-minute movie, there's 5 minutes worth of shark.
It's the mind. The mind is a terrible thing to waste. We are such imaginers because we all grew up knowing what sharks are. You know.
But also the good thing about Jaws, the movie, Hollywood rarely improves on the book, except in the case of like Dune. So the original story of the end of Jaws, the shark does like, just like it does in the movie, comes into the boat and tries to eat the sheriff. And the sheriff somehow goes out the other side, and the boat traps the shark, and it goes to the bottom of the ocean, and it drowns. That's in the end of the book. It just flops around dead at the bottom of the ocean. Hollywood has Roy Scheider shove a scuba bottle into its face and then hit it with a high-powered rifle from 300 yards away and blow its head up. That is an improvement on the book, in my opinion. Hollywood sends that movie out to us, and the shark goes blue, 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 and drowns to death. We'd have all been like, why did we sit here for 90 minutes and watch this crap?
People don't realize how big that shark was. When I was in Universal Studios, they had it all rigged up. So when you're in the boat, the thing lunges out at you. It's a behemoth. The thing was just massive.
They made two parts for the first one. The first part was the full-size, 28-foot-long mechanical styrofoam
that was
thing.
it.
And it had a boom arm on one side, so the shark would swim this way. And there was an arm that held it. And then they had the part that came up on the boat and flopped down and ate Quinn, ate that dude, cut him in half.
That was huge.
That was
what about the megalodon?
And that was operated by two scuba men inside who flopped on the deck and then grabbed him and pulled him in.
Yeah, but what about the megalodon? Do you guys think it really still exists, or do you think?
Yes, I've actually seen a megalodon for real. Yeah.
I believe it too.
There's some good footage of them out there. There's three things on this planet that didn't make any kind of sense. We've got Architeuthis, which is the giant squid. They've had one at the Smithsonian Museum in a formaldehyde tank. It's 65 feet long. They have this like brass tank that's 65 feet long with Architeuthis in it, and I've seen it since I was a kid. It's been around. So there's something that eats that, and there's something that eats what eats that. So Megalodon eats Architeuthis, and sperm whales eat Architeuthis and Megalodon, or the Megalodon and the whales fight each other over Architeuthis. But those three animals leave marks on each other, and we've known about them for years and centuries. And then only just recently they say, "Oh, we found the giant squid." Bullshit! I've known about it since I was 3 years old.
Yeah, it exists. Megalodons still exist in the sea. You just haven't seen them come up or anything. And the closest relative to it would be a whale shark, but they're benign. They only eat, plankton and stuff like that.
Their closest relative is more closer to Carcharid and Carcharius. It's the same. They're bigger than the great white. But the reason why we have trouble seeing the Architeuthis and the Megalodon and coelacanth, these are all allegedly extinct creatures. When the Chicxulub meteor struck Mexico, it flash boiled billions of decaliters of water. It lit the earth and that forest around Chicxulub immediately on fire. So everything around that was immediately killed. But it also blocked out the sun for at least several months, maybe even a couple of years. So all the creatures on the sea, in order for them to survive, their food chain went lower underwater. There's the only way for them to survive. So you've got plesiosaurs, you've got Megalodon, Architeuthis. There's probably stuff in there we've never even heard of. There's stuff that they're fishing out of the Marianas Trench every day that is scarier and scarier than the shit they pulled out yesterday. So we know nothing about the oceans on our planet.
There's still giant sea turtles. I've got some books on shipwrecks from the 1800s. People thought it was an island they were coming upon. It was a 20-foot wide sea turtle of some kind. And if you look at the fossil record, you can see how big they were.
Old? Imagine how old it was if it was that big.
Yeah, there's definitely stuff in the ocean that has not been accepted by mainstream science, because up and down the California coast, there's about 20 or 30 reports of sea serpents that come out, and they have eyes as big as dinner plates, a mane like a giraffe,
Crazy.
a monkey-like face.
Yeah.
And these are very well verified. I mean, one of the guys was Bandini, who invented the Cox fishing reel. That guy, head of the fishing club. Some very well authenticated cases, and it was so large. One of these things, the ocean had swells, and it was not lifting up and down in the swell, which means that this thing was, tons of weight.
That's crazy.
The
They're
question,
out there. People swim out there. Just saying.
Yeah. The question I
of
have is
Opopo.
what do these creatures know about aging that we do not?
Yeah.
That turtles and things just have an indefinite lifespan, and we have, crinkled at age 100.
Do you want to know why human beings don't live so long? This is something you don't learn unless you take a lot of science, okay? Viruses, there weren't so many viruses when we first came here. Humans lived into the 800s easily, okay? But viruses started accumulating and it affected our DNA and it changed us and it shortened our lifespans. If we could eradicate all the viruses on this planet and go back to cleaner living and not have all the other problems that this planet incurred on our physiology, we would live into the 800 to 1000s easily. It is in our DNA to be that old. But we, on this planet, which we were transplanted to, have taken on the effects of what this planet is doing against our DNA, and it has shortened our lifespans. That's why.
Good question. Good answer.
When you mentioned, Preston, about those turtles, I was watching I think it's called Vet on the Hill. It's a vet show on YouTube. I think it's from the UK. Anyways, he had this lady that adopted 2 100-year-old turtles. And they lived in her garden. They were only this big. Would you believe they laid eggs? And the vet said, "Oh, I don't think you're going to get anything out of these 2." They hatched baby turtles at 100 years old. So imagine, that's how big you were talking about. The ones you were talking about. Imagine how old they were.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, the National Zoo had, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have the oldest living in captivity. I don't remember what breed, but I think they called it a tortoise, and it's huge. I mean, it was the size of a VW Beetle, and I think it was like 290 years. Yeah, and I think it was like 290 years old. Very old.
Yeah. It was a Galapagos tortoise, and it lived to be 325. Actually, that's how old it was. Yeah, and it just passed away like in the last 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you got to imagine, like we say, we hardly have examined the depths of the oceans. I've even seen, now I know with AI, you got to be so careful, but back in the day, like there was a story, I'd love for Mish to comment on this, that there was something removed from the sea beach. There was a tail with it. It looked humanoid. I don't know if it was a mermaid or not, but I know they showed up in white hazmat suits and the whole bit. It was kind of caught surreptitiously. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that footage, but people seem to be getting weird creatures even washing up on the shores from the ocean too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Annette, do you have a paranormal story or high strangeness story that
Actually, I have quite a few, but
I know you do. Yeah.
We have talked about these things, but it was interesting that we just finished our book and released it today with Father Sean and myself. And
congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice.
We had guest contributors. Thank you. And when I work on books, a lot of times I have activity from that. And he experienced it too. And it happens to me, I would say almost every time, depending on the severity of the book. So I've become sometimes like, I feel like I'm woven into the story. I feel like things don't want their story told. I feel like after the book goes live, then the activity dies down. This time, so what I've been going through the last couple of weeks is really weird scratching noises in the house that I can't figure out what it is or where it comes from. It's kind of loud, you know, from a fairly large animal. And Father Sean, he had this weird rash and he was feeling sick and he went to the doctor and they were having a hard time identifying what it was. And then the book was set for release today, but I actually had it out there for a few days and he's getting better. I'm not saying for sure that means it was because of paranormal, but it did start getting better and my noises subsided. But I've had really weird things happen while doing books. I've even had weird things happen to the books where I go back to work on it and the pictures are all upside down in the book.
No way.
Pictures are all scrambled up, which I don't put those in by hand. You know, I hit a button and it inserts page numbers, so there's no reason why they should scramble. I had a little girl ghost from a book I was working on. Father Sean's always saying I should write a book about all the things that happened to me. But not that long ago, we're out in Oklahoma on 5 acres, and we have a greenhouse and we have water tanks. Not that long ago, something came and just emptied out the water tanks and emptied out the one in the greenhouse, but the floor wasn't wet. And, you know, then no kids would come and just do that. And we've got dogs and everything. So we
Y'all have trail cams. Y'all need trail cams out there. No kidding. Just put them all up everywhere, in the house, outside, wherever, you know. Then you might catch something. That would be really interesting to see. You know?
It would be very interesting. But we ended up tying blessed metals onto the spigots with twine, and then we didn't have any more incidents. But so that's something that happened outside. Just strange
Where
things.
can people get the book?
On Amazon, it's called Help Me, I'm Haunted. It's Father Sean.
That's a good title.
That's a great title.
Yeah,
It is funny. Yeah, that's a good title.
We actually get a lot of mail at our show, so we try to answer questions, and we tried to compile some good information, and then a lot of the guests that we have that people really like, ask them if they wanted to write an article, you know, on their area of research or expertise. I hate the word expert, but you know what I mean. And so it's really good. Doppelgangers, poltergeists, curses, spirit attachments. We've got all kinds of information. It was going to be a little handbook, and it wound up being 245 pages.
A handbook. Yeah. What happened?
Right.
Have mediumistic abilities?
We do talk about that, but it isn't like a main chapter.
Well, no, I mean about personally in your life. I mean, for that amount of paranormal activity to be going on around you, you have to be somebody that's able to manage the energy. You know, you have to be open to it.
You have abilities, yeah.
I'm just saying that in my experience is that you're definitely a wide open. You have mediumistic abilities. You have. Okay?
I read about that a little bit because I would go live someplace else and I would have something different happening. And then I had a psychic lady tell me, she said the spirit world can tell that you've seen or heard them before, so they're drawn to you. So the different places that I lived, different things would kind of hang around. And in the book I talk about, I can stand outside of a home or a building and close my eyes and take a breath, and then I could walk in and see what I feel and then keep following that. And then I'll ask myself, is this a male or a female? What kind of emotional state is the spirit?
Yeah, you're talking, you definitely are a medium. You ought to talk to an experienced medium who's capable of teaching you how to.
You don't want to be.
Can I?
I have a friend. I have a friend that when she developed her abilities,
Yeah.
And now she takes NyQuil.
We have a host on the show that's very, very talented.
Yeah.
But
All I can say is beware.
if you can't turn it off, like, you know what I mean?
Of course you can. It's not a matter of turning it off. It's a matter of shutting and opening a door. You know, in other words, you accept the energy or you take the energy away from you for a while. Most operating mediums know how to do that, or they've been taught because they were having just exactly what you got going on. You know,
if I can add in my 2 cents on this.
Sure.
If you don't mind me just kind of intervening into your psyche, because it doesn't feel like an ancestor or even a common entity that's attached to you. This is just, it's a part of you, you know, because you do have an interdimensional being. And if you want to go into that reality, it's kind of like a weird chakra between our heart and our solar plexus, where almost like a diamond facet chakra there. It's a very subtle chakra. But there's a part of you that really wants to sabotage you. And the best way to do it is to do a meditation to where you take the light in your heart and bring it into this interdimensional reality and say, whatever you need, I want to give to you. Because it's in a deflect. It's in a deflect of spirit, and it needs to be fed. It needs to be fed from you because you are a good and whole person. But it's almost like this is a bugaboo for you, that it, you know, irritates you, it tricks you, it, you know, it does things what it can't whenever it can. And, you know, you are the best healer with this. But knowing that there is another dimensional self in you that is working against you and probably a lot of other things, that's one powerful spirit being you got as you, in you.
Well, there's definitely things with Dolly that's out there. So she's got some.
I love that bugaboo. That's a
just so
great
you know,
term.
I know you don't know me very well, but I am a wide open, 100% conscious psychic. Okay, I'm clairvoyant, I'm clairsentient, I'm clear everything.
Yeah, you seem like a badass.
I am a badass. You're right, and I am operating at 100%.
Okay, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the lady that's in Oklahoma.
Right, that's right. Yeah, I know.
Right, okay.
And I agree. There's a lot going on with her. I 100% agree. But I don't want you to let it attack you all the time, because it's like being in the ocean on an air tube. You know, you got all this energy coming at you. You're being tossed and turned in this way and that way. And it's hard for you to focus on what's really going on and to understand it at the same time. And learning how to deal with that is like number one, should be a priority for you, because a medium needs to learn, because you have this ability. It's natural. It's operating already. You are not going to go away from this. You cannot make it stop. Okay. But you can learn to live in it and make it operate for you the way that you, as a person who has absolute, autonomy over your own life, operate it. And, you be the one in control. You don't let things control you. You be the one in control of you. And then if something's coming at you and it wants your attention, or it's trying to communicate with you, then you can set the parameters to understand what it's trying to say to you. Because there's more than one kind of energy out there. Michelle can tell you this 100%, that on a scale of 1 to 10, a 1 being the worst, you don't want 1 to 8 coming at you at all.
Yeah.
Okay. And you need to be able to identify it for what it is, because there really are demons, there really are angels, there really is, all kinds of things going on in the universe. And as a medium, your interdimensional ability, your consciousness is wide open operating. And you need to see it for what it really is.
So I've worked with Bart. Very, very gifted. Very gifted.
Yeah.
Well, I just see this interdimensional chakra thing as, I just think of it, I visualize it almost like a diamond facet crystal ball, something like that. And each facet is a different reality. And when you start to say, well, I would like to get the center of all of my dimensional selves and get us all on the same page, how do I do that? Well, you want to bring in a lot of reality in that interdimensional self and say, can we create some wholeness? And if there's somebody working against me or is wounded here that doesn't like its own self, which also applies to you, give it what it needs, which is love and acceptance and light. I know that sounds really mishmash, new agey, but
Love is at the basis
it
of
really
everything.
works.
I agree about love. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love is what stirs the pot. It's what makes things happen. It's everything.
Yeah.
You know, and it's our job to learn what that is. And it is multifaceted, love is. You know?
That's one of the best ways to handle a malevolent spirit, is to just push it at it with love. They don't like it.
I write about it a lot in the book, Working with Angels, praying for things, finding peace, keeping my spirit elevated, revoking any kind of permissions, making boundaries, consecration of the house. And that's kind of the way that I learned to live with it. But I don't have things all the time.
Right. Nobody does. Not even me. I mean, yeah.
Some of the stuff that I have, I think, is like validation from angels that, I've prayed and asked for help, and different little things will happen that, to me, I try to pay attention to what was I just saying or thinking, or, because a lot of times it can be that the spirit world too, a lot of things really are pretty benign, but you can't be, taking chances and courting with disaster, because that's
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you guys. That was really interesting.
And what's the name of your book again? That's coming
Help
out?
Me, I'm Haunted.
It's so clever.
I'm looking that one up, actually. I might buy it. I'm probably going to now because I'm curious as heck. No kidding.
And it's on Amazon and paperback and Kindle as of, we just announced it today, and just a lot of really great articles in there. It's what I was trying to do when we talked about it. He puts his experience, his point of view. I put mine. And then, some of our favorite guests that people really enjoy that are recurring guests, their articles, and just try and give some real information, and also different ways to try and manage situations with boundaries, with prayers, different techniques, and just try and help people. We get a lot of mail. It's hard to say whether people ask sometimes, is it becoming more and more? I don't know if it's becoming more and more people are willing to talk about it. Back in the day, people did not like to talk about it. They were afraid to talk about it. Now it's a much more open society for, saying that you're experiencing things.
Well, I have a burning question.
You also have a lot of, Father Sean has a lot of really bad dad jokes.
Oh, yeah.
Not as many as me, I'll bet. We'll have to have a
Yeah, Jay, I think you win, actually. Father Sean has quite a few.
Jay, is this how you're doing the shirt changes? You're turning off the camera? Because now you're part of the medical team.
But I was just thinking, we should have a poll of the audience. Who has the most interesting natural background behind them? Everybody's got little different tchotchkes behind them, So, but I did want to say something that Dolly mentioned while Annette and she were talking about trail cameras, and earlier in the show we were talking about some autism and people on the spectrum and whatnot. And I don't know, I hadn't really vetted this story, but I'm fairly certain it's true. So allegedly, this autistic boy was with his family hiking in the woods somewhere out in the Pacific Northwest, and got lost. He wandered away from the group, and when the family came back, they started a search. And they searched all night and didn't find him. The following morning, while they were getting ready to go out and start searching again, the boy comes out of the trees, and his mother and all they're shocked, and they asked him how he got back, and he said, "Well, the wolves helped me, Mommy," and nobody believed him. Several weeks later, a hunter who had trail cams in the area he had trail cams going down where the animals walked, like several of them, and there's several pictures of this wolf pack leading this autistic child back to where he came from.
Wow.
Crazy.
And that has to be
I
two
would
things.
believe
One,
that,
the
Jay.
child. I believe it
I
has to
would-
be true. That child's brain
No,
works
but
on a
I
different
would
level than any
believe it.
other
My
normal
son-
brain. So those wolves knew he wasn't a threat. A and B, they knew he was scared to death.
I
And-
know what, being the mom of a son that passed away in January with severe autism, they think differently, a lot of people under the spectrum, as well as I believe my son was highly telepathic. He wasn't verbal till he was about 7, and he was still very
Believe so.
limited verbally. But he had something very special with animals that I don't see with most human beings. And
Well,
I think he could communicate. So I would not be surprised if this child could probably communicate very easily with the wolves or whatever animals out there. I agree with you, not a threat.
well, what the people with autism say in these interviews I've heard is what makes them different with this place in the back of the top of their head is they are not experiencing emotion. They do not have this constant chatter.
I
the
don't
rest
agree
of
with
us
that
have.
part. They experience it differently, I think, because of the amygdala. But
Okay.
people with autism are some of the most empathetic people I think you will ever meet.
But they don't have the mind. They don't have the mind chatter of all the emotions and stuff. Is what I'm pointing out. And I think that would be
Respectfully, I disagree.
that would be soothing. Okay, that would be soothing for animals. That would be my theory with it.
Has anybody watched My Bigfoot Life with Daniel Lee Barnett?
No.
So it's
I've
My
got a
Bigfoot
couple.
Life. Did you watch it, Dolly?
Yeah, I've caught
Yeah.
a couple of the shows. Yes. Yeah, I'm interested in anything Bigfoot.
Yeah,
it's
so
probably
he's
ultimate.
autistic. He's a young. Is he like 14 or something like
Yes,
that? From
something
the
like that,
UK. From the UK, and he just is fascinated with. That's his obsession is Sasquatch, and so he's got
I'm
this.
going to tell you something because of all my experience with animals and ET and all that stuff and being psychic. I can tell you a couple things about sentience. All animals are sentient. All animals have spirit, and all animals are operating on a psychic level that humans don't always see, hear, or understand.
I gotta go.
Okay, bye, Michelle.
Bye,
Bye, guys. Love you guys. Love all of you.
Happy Halloween.
And
They,
I got
if you guys don't mind, I also need to go. And
Yeah,
I
me-
want to thank you for the invite and the great conversation. And it's nice to meet all you
Thank
guys.
you for
I really
sharing,
enjoyed
Annette.
it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Night. Happy Halloween.
Thank
Much
you.
love.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
I got-
Halloween. Let us know if the veil thins. for you.
I gotta go too. So
Oh,
I'll see
okay.
y'all
Pushing
later.
the wrong
Bye,
button.
Bart.
I'm leaving. I got it.
Have a good night.
I
Happy
got it.
Halloween.
Thanks.
Dolly, I agree with you 100% about the animal thing.
Right.
Absolutely.
We're all psychic and they hear us think. And your animals know what you're thinking. And they know when you're coming home after you've left. They know when you're upset. They're emotionally connected to us. They have every sentient, emotional, psychic ability that we do. And autistic, and I have autism in my family as well. Okay. I have two cousins who are severely autistic, way messed up. My daughter's on the spectrum. Okay. One of the things that I noticed when she was really small was that any animal anywhere would come up to her for almost no reason whatsoever. And she had an unbelievable desire to love anything and everything all the time. Okay. She didn't want us to touch her or get in her face or, any of that. But oh my God, animals, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Agreed 100%.
Right.
And
I think
everybody has emotions, right? But because I think people under the spectrum sometimes, with their affect to their face or whatever,
Right.
it's a bit of a, and I know you'll agree, or is that, it's been said that they don't have emotions, but of course they
But
do
they
have
do.
emotions. They just
They
express
just
them a little
don't let
different.
you see it. That's the thing. They're locked in to themselves experiencing it, and it overwhelms them, and they get to the point where they can't communicate anymore about it, and they lock up. My daughter would come up to me and she would hold her arms out with her head down, and that meant I need the hardest hug you can give me and don't let go. And she would literally crawl into my lap, put her face down on my chest plate, and I would garrote her as hard as I could, or as long as I could. And then she would finally relax and she'd get up. And her way of saying thank you was she would pat my face or pat my head, pat my heart, and walk away. And this is a kid that was interested in everything, above average intelligence, very, very smart, got into everything. You know, she was operating, but the spectrum kept her from being social. You know, and as hard as I wanted her to be, I learned eventually to give up. Don't do it. When she's ready, and when she's not, she's not. And there's no need to force that. I mean, we're the ones enforcing our, you know what I'm saying? And
I always described it that with my son, and again, I won't go on and on about it, but is that if we think of ourselves, right, and you're sitting in a doctor's office and you feel every seam of your clothing, you feel the seat beneath your bottom,
right,
all the lights are affecting your vision, you're hearing that fan 3 rooms away going off and all the machines, you're smelling all those smells, like every sense is not a filter. So you can, right, you get overwhelmed, and that's the way I like to describe it.
It's very much like being profoundly psychic, really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You feel everything, you sense everything.
You hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. That's what it means. Autistic kids are extremely highly developed psychically. They are.
Yeah. Animals are psychic too. We have a dog, Duchess, who came on. When I go out of body, she comes running up to me, and she can talk. She absolutely can speak. She says, "I love you. My name is Duchess. How are you? Hello." It's very basic, but absolutely.
We had a bear.
Our pets talk. They can speak English.
Well, my son had a baby bear last year that we've had real bear problems in this city. And Julie Jean Bassett, who's a friend of mine and an animal communicator too, we were trying to work with this bear because it wasn't a yearling and we weren't getting any help for it. We didn't want anything to happen to the bear, but we didn't want anybody to get hurt. And so we were trying to show it. And I was asking Julie, how are we going to show that? I could see where the bear came from. It was a conservation area, but trying to show the bear on like a direction, what way to go back to where he came from. So I agree with you. That's beautiful that you shared that. Thanks for sharing about Duchess. That's beautiful.
And we kind of tackled this question on UFO Undercover a couple of times. We deep dived into like the Bible on certain questions. And, in the Bible, they say that, at one point we were at one with nature and we were able to commune and talk with the animals. And I was like, how could we do that? Nowadays, I guess maybe only people that are on the spectrum have that ability and maybe some contact the abductees. But at some point, we must have all had, because let's be real about it. Adam and Eve didn't go to some school and learn how to bark and whinny and moo to talk to these animals. I
think it's our birthright.
So they had to have some sort of psychic connection.
I agree with you, Laura.
You want to know what I think the Tower of Babel was us losing our psychic ability openly.
Yeah, that has. Yeah,
I think that we were all enslaved to communicate a different way. That's what I think. And I think that you all still have the ability. It's there. It's in your DNA. You've got the equipment to work with it. You just have to do whatever it takes to get it back.
Open it up. Yeah.
Yeah. There were many saints throughout history who had that ability. Thaumaturges, they called them. They could, levitate. They had superhuman strength, immunity to fire, all kinds of stuff they could do. And one of them was communicating with animals, and they were very useful for towns that were going through a lion attack or wolves or something, and these people would come out and solve the problem because they could absolutely communicate with the animals. And yeah, I agree with you. It's our birthright. It's something anyone can do. And I have yet to meet a contactee who doesn't have a whole long list of extraordinary animal stories. It's amazing how they communicate with animals because they've learned that. It's all about psychic ability. We can do this.
Right. Yeah, and one of the things at the zoo that used to freak my cousins out was that with big cats, okay, if you don't raise a big cat, it's not going to let you work with it, okay? It doesn't know you. They're animal. All cats are animals of, I want it to be this way. I'm comfortable with this way. Don't make a change on me. I'll go nuts, that kind of thing. And they brought in a panther, not a panther, excuse me.
A lion?
No. A leopard, a black leopard. Okay. And she was so solidly black. You could see the leopard spots under her coat, but she was a solid black leopard. And she was at Silver Springs, and Silver Springs shut down. So we went and adopted some of their animals, and we got some of their fencing and, helped them out while they were shutting down. Anyways, we had her in an enclosure at first, and she had a play log in there because this is an animal that can take a log about 4.5 feet long and about that big around and toss it like a toothpick, okay? Bite it in half. And she had her little cubby den in there, and she was on sand because somebody monstrously declawed her. She had no claws, so she couldn't walk around anymore. And she was about 8 or 9 years old when we got her. And her name was Sasha. And I used to, every morning on my way to go cut food, I would stop at her enclosure and sit with her. And I brought eggs with me. And I would sing to her and talk to her. I wanted her to get to know me and trust me. And she eventually started letting me hand deliver eggs to her mouth, to the cage. And I sang and everything. And I would like encourage her to play. One day I said, get that thing. And she grabbed that log and flung it straight up. And it went boom, 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 and I hear behind me. And it's funny. My cousin Kathy's husband, they own the zoo. Okay. And he said, oh my God. He said, oh my God, I think she'd let you pet her if you wanted to. And I said, I'm almost this close to believing that's true, but I'm not stupid, okay? I know better than to stick my hand in a cage of an animal and don't know. And he said, that's amazing. How do you do that? And I don't know how to explain this to you, but this animal hears me. I hear this animal, and I'm only communicating it with it on that level. What I verbally take out of my mouth is just for my benefit and anybody around me, and it's soothing for a cat to hear you sing to it, okay? And but it's not just her; it's all the animals on the zoo. I can do that. I can just work with anything. And I didn't think anything of it until my cousin yanked me aside one day, and she said, "You have a nickname here now, so you need to get ready because they're all going to start using it on you." And I said, "What is that?" And she said, "Mama Doolittle." And I said, "Okay, I'm Mama Doolittle." And it made people crazy because it made people crazy. For me to be able to do that. And I just wanted so bad for everybody to know that you all have this. Every single person should have an animal in their life that they communicate with and learn to be in communion with, learn because it ups the gain on your abilities. Okay. It's so important. You see cat ladies with 32 cats. I guarantee you this second get out. Okay. Heaven. Literally in psychic heaven.
Have you guys ever seen, and I'm addicted to him, he calls himself the Calm Cat Whisperer, and he's Filipino, and he takes all the spicy cats, because he works at a vet office, that nobody will groom.
No,
and
your
these cats,
well,
I think he says, hello, I am your Calm Cat Whisperer, Donnie. And then he starts with the cat, and the cat super spicy, and by the end of it the cat is giving him kisses and the things he keeps talking to the cat, and I keep thinking, my God, that cat's going to be so annoyed with you, and it's not. Every single time, no sedation, no nothing. This cat is literally giving him, he goes, oh, blinkies, when your cat blinks to tell you it loves you.
Oh yeah, that means I love you.
He has something about him. You guys check him out on YouTube. He's amazing.
Learn from him. Yeah, absolutely. Learn how he does that. Yeah. Totally cool. Yep.
Mish, that is so funny that you can speak well after watching Nemo.
Oh, sure. I
speak Dory.
I call her my birthday twin because she's in Australia and her birthday's a day before mine. So we have that 12-hour crossover, and she loves to do resin like I do and stuff. So I always call her my birthday twin. So now I want to hear the bell.
I've always wanted to visit the country of Belgium because I'm fluent in Belch.
No, I'm not Flemish because that's the old language of Belgium. My grandmother's from there actually, and it's called Flemish.
I know it's a joke.
I know it is. That's what I was adding to
it. Okay, so we can't go. I have to bow out soon-ish because I have to go out of town. But I do want to play that silly video with that lady chasing the pumpkin, just because it's, when we're talking about intuition and not being all our bodies being connected, mental, emotional, physical, like our bodies not being connected. This video is that. It is
Okay,
somebody
what one
not.
is it? What one,
Sorry?
Kerrilynn? You sent me 2 of them. Is
So
it the
I
one
believe
before
it's
you
the second
center?
one with the lady chasing the blow up pumpkin.
Oh, I saw that one too. Give me a sec. Okay, I
It's
watched both of
ridiculous.
them. Okay, give me a sec,
So
guys. 'cause
Pat,
she sent-
while you're loading
I
that
think
up,
it's this
Patsy
one.
is saying, "Oh my God, I had a winking session with my Esme a few months ago, and I could almost hear her say she didn't want to keep doing this stupid thing, so she jumped down."
Yeah, I've been watching lots of cat videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's amazing some of the things these animals do.
Oh,
They're
no, this is
absolutely
the one
sentient,
I'm
Dolly.
talking
I
about.
agree with you.
Yeah, for sure they are. We have two ragdoll cats, Arkham and Eartha May, and then the 2 dogs, and all of them are very
You
intuitive.
can do anything. They're so docile. My aunt had a
With
rag doll.
ragdolls, I
Yes.
love ragdolls so much. They flop. They just flop. They're like
Yeah,
fainting goats.
they're liquid. You know,
Yeah.
just liquid though. Right there.
And like a dog, because they're very social. They want to be with you, and
Yeah.
people knock on the door, and Arkham just, trots to the door to say hello or walks with you when you're saying goodbye to folks. Like,
that's amazing.
I'm trying to find it, Kerrilynn. I know you sent it to me, so give me a sec. Because I got the one with the wolf that you sent me, and I tried to find the second link. Let me see if it came through. Sometimes it'll come through on my phone and not through on I'll find it, guys. Don't worry. I won't keep you too long. Because I watched it. It was hilarious.
Yeah. I just find it really funny about people when you are not present and in the moment, how it just snowballs, where you just keep making one decision out of fear after another. And the video is it's this doorbell cam point of view.
Wow.
And the dad is giving them the answer, what they need to do, but they're so
It's
caught up.
don't burn the dinner. Okay, I see it. Don't burn the dinner now, because I was peeing myself laughing. Okay, give me a sec. I knew I'd find it.
No, I'm curious.
Yeah.
It's just funny.
It's just ridiculous, actually.
Okay, anytime now, Laura. Could send through to me here. Hang on, guys. Yeah, it came through. Give me a sec. I'm not usually this in adequate, but I found it. Hang on. Okay, give me a sec. Anytime now, computer. My computer's been glitching out all night. I don't know about you guys, but it has. Okay.
Right, Patsy, Esme, is this Patsy's
yeah, this is it. I finally fit.
We understand each other very well. She's a good
my
trainer.
computer.
I agree, Patsy, that our pets and even our kids are our teachers. I think that we forget that we're learning from them, not always the other way around.
Yes.
Patsy, don't you have a cat that's sick right
That's
now?
why.
With a thyroid issue.
Oh dear. Yes, that's the one, Laura.
Okay, I found it, guys.
All right.
Finally. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, give me a minute. I'll unmute it now. Where did you go? Mike, I'm sorry, you guys. My computer is majorly glitching out tonight. I don't know why, but it is. Okay, let's see.
Let me just take a picture of you for one
And then the kid takes a picture.
Yeah, he didn't get a hot meal that evening.
I loved when she says, "Just come home."
But he's like yelling to unplug it. Like, it's just, you get so caught up and not present, and then it just is a shite show after that.
Because you know what happens? The
That's
panic
insane.
switch turns on, and no
Yeah.
rational thought will enter.
Right? Carrie's saying that it's relatable. Like, I think that we've
So
all had a
relatable.
moment like that, but you know.
Yes.
Yeah. We used to have a
Yeah.
St. Bernard when I was growing up that weighed 210 pounds.
Oh,
His name was Sam. Sam I am.
Oh.
And he was 39 inches at the withers, which is a giant animal. And we had a saddle pack
Oh
for
my
him
God,
at
he's a
Christmas.
horse.
We decorated it for Christmas and everything with saddlebags. And we would put presents in them. And then we didn't walk Sam. Sam walked us. It took 3 people on leads to control him. Because if he ran, we went with him, whether we liked it or not. And we would go and deliver to families who, at Christmas time, through our choir, we'd bring presents to people at their houses and we'd sing to them. And we went to the door of this house and we knocked, and it's me, my mom, and my brother, and we all got him in tow, right? He's wearing a little Santa hat, and he's like, and he's got his keg on and everything, saddle pack. And she opens the door and she went, "Oh, it's the Christmas reindeer." And I looked at my mom, and my mom looked at me, and we said, "Well, yeah, okay," and he thought she was the greatest thing on this earth, and he jumped up on her. She went down on the ground, and he was licking her all over her face, and we're like freaking the hell out, excuse my French, because what do? We're trying to pull him off her, right? I finally grabbed him by his tail, and he looked back, and that's when he released her, and she got up. Thank goodness, she laughed and laughed and laughed, and we gave her the best presents in the saddle pack and cleaned her up, and we sang to her for an hour and gave her cookies. And I'm sure this woman remembered that to the day she died. And we decided after that it was not a good idea to go to the door with the dog, that to hold him back and let somebody else knock on the door. That just wasn't a good day. But can you imagine? That was the Christmas reindeer. Okay, all right, sure. Okay.
So funny.
That's a big dog.
And
Yeah,
a big
it is.
dog.
That's
And a
a
good
big
story.
dog.
At that point, I'm going to bail.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going to come
gonna
back and do Joe's show. So
Thank
nice
you.
seeing you all.
Yeah,
Happy Halloween.
Thanks for
Happy
being here.
Halloween.
Thank
Good
you.
dusting. Yeah.
We'll
Thank
we'll
you
see
for
you on the other side.
Thanks for coming on, Preston and Dolly and
You're
Jay.
welcome. Thank
for
you.
everything.
It
Yes.
was great to see you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the Yazzies are having a bash as well too, where people can pop
Right,
on later.
right behind us. Yeah. Yeah. I was looking at the lineups, and there's a couple more parties going on out there.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Thank
have
you for
to
inviting
go
us.
out of town tomorrow, so I'm gonna head to bed and
Yeah.
I got a 5-hour drive tomorrow.
Yeah, I have to weather
Sounds
the
like
chicken
fun.
coop and clean the greenhouse up and get it ready for winter planting and stuff like that. But this was as good as trick-or-treaters. We live out in the country, so we don't really have trick-or-treaters. So this was fun. Thank you.
That's how I grew up. I got driven from farm to farm. Right? It was very
Yes.
different. It's
Yep.
very different than how
Oh,
my
we all
kids.
rode in the wagon into the beginning of civilization and let loose in a neighborhood. We did that to all the farmers' kids. We get in a hay wagon and they bring us in with Clydesdales or the Pertrons, and they drop us off at the beginning of the neighborhoods, and boom, we went. And we were told 2 hours. That's it. That's all you got, and come back. It was
Last year,
brave.
we had so many kids. For the first year when we moved in before 2020, we'll say, without saying the word, we heard there was 200 or 250 kids coming in the neighborhood. So we were lucky if we got 30. So last year, Halloween was on a Thursday. So I had the Halloween party, and my son was still alive with my partner. They were downstairs. I thought that last year, I'm only going to buy enough candy for 30 kids, right? Like, because why have all this extra candy? Nobody needs it. There were so many kids last year. He was going through that. My partner was going through the cupboards, grabbing bags of popcorn and canned anything to give kids. We had so many. So this year, all day, because Kerrilynn and I were talking, we both love to do this makeup bags for the kids with toys and stuff. I made 80. I think we've had 6 kids tonight, maybe because of the bear, the black bear. I don't know, but thanks for doing this, Kerrilynn. So much fun.
Yeah, go drop it off at the elementary school. The teachers will dole it out to the kids during the day, or take it to a nursing home and let them have it. No kidding.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can eat it all.
This was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Thank
fun.
you. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Everyone's saying it was a fun show. I appreciate all of you guys.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween. Happy Old Hallows Eve, y'all. Yeah. Halloween.
Thank you, Joe Montaldo. Thank you, Michelle DeRoche. Thank you, UPRN, United Public Radio Network, and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you back here on Spirit Switchboard at 6 p.m. Eastern next Friday. And stick around, because the Yazzies, Don't Whistle at Night, are doing a Halloween bash as well, too. They've got all kinds of stories and other hosts hanging out with them. Tonight at I believe it's 10 p.m. Eastern is the time slot that they've got. So
yeah,
stick around, everybody, because there's some more. Good night, everyone.
Good night.